lowest room on the lowest level that you can access, away from outside walls and windows. In this illustration, where we have bedrooms with outside windows, we don't want you there. We want you here in this bathroom, or maybe for you it's a storage closet or underneath a staircase, something that puts many walls between you and the outside tornado as possible. I'm going to track out this storm for you real quick, and then I'll give it over to meteorologist Kylie Miller as we start our team coverage here. This storm is moving toward the northeast at a good clip, about 40 miles per hour. So we're going to have to actually zoom out a little bit to enable an accurate track. And look at these storms southeast of us looking even more intense. Let's put a quick track not only on the potential hail and really heavy rain on the backside of this, which is hitting LaSalle County right now, but on the possible tornado itself, northeastward, again, moving at about 40 miles an hour. That's still the speed, right, Kylie?
Yep,
40 miles per hour. And we're actually going to have to track this out on your computer, Kylie. We're having a little issue with our tracker on the Barron box. So we'll track this out on WSI in just a minute. While she gets that ready for you in just a moment, we're going to zoom in on the tornadic circulation. This radar is especially good. Look at this. That's a TDS. This is a tornadic debris signature. The radar is confirming now that there are pieces of debris lofted in the air by this tornado. This is a classic supercell that we don't often see here in northern Illinois. We're getting these tornadoes more frequently. Tornadoes happening in Illinois, actually the #1 place in the country 3 out of the past 4 years. Illinois leading the nation in tornado count 3 out of the past 4 years. And this is a very rare tornadic debris signature. We actually have something that can give us an even better look into this. This is going to be a lot to look at, so let me prepare you now, but it's really important that we take 4 different perspectives of this storm moving toward LaSalle County. You may not have seen this before, but when we see a tornadic debris signature and a low-level lock like this, we can actually give you multiple views. Let me see if I can drag it up so you can see it well on all of these panels. Good. So this is the radar. There's the TDS. Tornadic debris is lofted in the air. Here is the radar signature of rotation, green next to red. But also, we have this exclusive product, the rotation detector. You notice these greens and reds? That's confirming rotation. And right here, of even more interest to us, this is the debris detector, something called correlation coefficient on the radar, where it can actually detect debris. And this radar has a pretty sophisticated algorithm that is detecting just that. Let's get you over now to meteorologist Kylie Miller with a different view of the storm and the track as it heads northeastward into our viewing area in LaSalle County.
Yeah, so let's go ahead and take a look at that storm track. So we're dealing with that tornado warning for southern portions of LaSalle County. So putting a track on this movement, it is moving east at 40 miles per hour. So let's go ahead and see if this track will actually go. David, we might have to go over back to your computer. Here we go. So now we're in motion. So what we're going to do is we're going to put that track, that storm track on this. David, can you make sure that I'm in play mode really quick?
Absolutely.
You might have to go to your computer for a second.
I'll drive for you.
All right, so here we go. We're going to be starting with southern LaSalle County, but you can see all of this is still yet to come. It's out of our viewing area, but this is going to be moving on through as we look ahead. So here is a look at that cell. We're going to put it into still motion for you. You can see where that hook currently is at, and all of that is going to go up towards the east at 40 miles per hour. So David's going to go ahead and put that storm track on it. Places including Evans, 5:26 p.m., Winona at 5:32. Streeter at 6 o'clock, so within about 40 minutes or so. Ottawa at 6:27. We're going to continue to see this dissipating, but it could be holding strength too. Right now you can see we have this little hook echo that is just outside of our viewing area, but if you are in Streeter, if you're in one of those areas that we just mentioned, you need to seek shelter immediately. We talked about the difference between a watch and a warning. This is a warning. This means you need to go seek shelter immediately. We're dealing with a tornado emergency. Whenever you see reds and greens really close together, that means we have that good circulation, that really good rain wrap circulation too. This tornado warning goes until 5:45, but for our exact viewing area, David, I believe it does go until 6:15. So again, if you are in those locations, you need to make sure that you are getting to your safe place immediately. Make sure that you put on some shoes. Also, make sure if you have one, close by, you put on a helmet, something like that, because we are going to continue to be tracking this as it does come into our area. So this is the debris detector that David did put on. So whenever we see a lot of different colors, that means things are not uniform. This could be lofted debris that we are dealing with. So, David, I'm going to go ahead and see if there's anything going on from the National Weather Service side. I know we're also continuing to keep a close eye on the other two cells that are down towards the south of this. So let's go ahead and see if we could put this into still motion. If not, I'm going to have to go run over to my other computer.
I got you,
just a second.
I'll take us back on one.
Yeah.
This is a really rare and dangerous warning that we're facing here, guys. So if you're watching from the Chicago area, you might wonder, well, is this storm going to impact me? Is this heading our way? The answer is it's a long way away, more than 80 miles southwest of the city or so. Now, we do have our mobile weather lab position with a couple scattered storms up in Kane County. Say it one more time. Okay, well, up in Kane County, this is also the event that Chicago needs to worry about. In addition to these pop-up tornadic storms that could be flowing our way in the warm sector the next couple of hours, this squall line, as advertised by our models for a couple of days now, that's going to be the main event for really widespread tree damage, wind damage, and power outages. But now we're seeing something called discrete warm sector development. This is not something that usually happens, but the atmosphere has been able to recover so efficiently, basically meaning that the ground has heated up back into the 80s and we've got rising air and vertical motion in the atmosphere, that we have these little supercell thunderstorms developing. So we only have the warm air extending about as far as these supercells are. That's why the storms up near Aurora are not severe, probably not going to get severe in the next 30 minutes. But down where the temperatures are in the 80s, in southern LaSalle County, this is where we have the ingredients in the atmosphere necessary to really cause some trouble out there tonight. So I mentioned that we also have some rotation not only on this tornado-warned storm in extreme southern LaSalle County, but on these little pairs of storms that are riding that boundary just underneath. We've had a couple of storms roll through the area, a couple of big complexes of storms, and actually you can in the wake of those, we often have outflow boundaries, or basically invisible fronts in the atmosphere that are left behind them. And that's exactly what, these storms can interact with. If there's a parked boundary, basically a difference in winds in the atmosphere parked right here, and a storm hits it, that can spin up the storm very quickly. There appears to be some sort of a boundary kind of northwest to southeast here going through Minonk, and that's why these storms that are developing even southeast of the tornado warning near Flanagan, near Chenoa, these heading toward Pontiac are also starting to show signs of rotation, and that's why I just advised a friend of mine, just texted him in Grundy County right there, get ready to take your tornado precautions as well, because even though this cell is a little ways from Grundy County, we have kind of an array of tornadic thunderstorms that seem to be developing far southwest of the city. So the movement on this still northeastward at 40 miles per hour. Let's track out that latest track, really not just on the tornadic storm, but on all of these. We'll track out the worst parts of these storms with hail possible, tornadic damage possible. Northeast at 40 puts it right about there. This is everywhere it's going to go over the next hour. And I wish these cities were popping up for you. We're having a little problem with our system. But in Grundy County, this means you're less than an hour away from these rotating storms that are moving your direction. Chicago, that would mean we are more than an hour away from these storms. But boys, southern LaSalle County, it does not get much more serious than this. It looks like the tornado emergency has been canceled. I'm just checking in with our National Weather Service partners here. Tornadic part of the storm is expected to remain just south of Ransom. The hail part of the storm is passing nearby or overhead. So this is just reiterating what we already know. We've got a debris signature, a low-level lock here where the tornado is just entering the southernmost boot of LaSalle County, but we also have the tornado warning for not only where that storm may trek, but it looks like they've actually extended it southward a little bit, confirmed tornado warning. That's why it's purple down toward Reading. Into Livingston County as well. So all of these storms have the potential of not only producing just a typical run-of-the-mill tornado like we often get around here, shouldn't say often, lately it seems like it, right? But a really intense tornado, and that's what we're seeing here, a radar signature, even though it's a ways from the radar site, showing really strong rotation near Evans. This is just southwest of LaSalle County, and if we query some of these pixels, we got 41 mile-an-hour winds blowing one way, 59 mile per hour winds blowing away from the radar. This makes a clean, there's a new scan, and look at that, Kylie. We've got shear, gate-to-gate shear of 150 miles an hour. This is a strong extremely dangerous tornado moving into the boot of extreme southern LaSalle County. If you live there, get underground now. If you have friends or family in that area, we need you to call them, make sure they're aware of what's going on. If they're on the road, they need to seek sturdy shelter immediately. Don't try to outrun it. These storms are moving quickly. You can get caught up on farm roads, and don't try to hide under an underpass. We've seen that has been disproven decades ago as a safe place to be. We need to be underground ideally, or in a sturdy structure in the interior-most room of the house. Let me just query these again because...
So this storm could actually be cycling up and down, David, is from what it looks like.
Yeah. Gate-to-gate shear, over 110 miles an hour. Let me just query a couple of these, see if I can get any stronger. Pixels, 65 miles an hour one way. Looks like 59 miles an hour the other way. So you can't always add them up, but you know, in the Kankakee tornado, March 10th this year, you could. The gate-to-gate shear was about 130 miles per hour, 140 miles per hour, and that's kind of the equivalent of the EF scale that the tornado ended up being. So if this is the equivalent, this could be an EF2, EF3 tornado in the next couple of minutes, Kylie, that's moving into LaSalle County, a really rare setup well southwest of Chicago. But these storms are heading our way eventually, aren't they?
Yeah, they definitely are. And we're also continuing to track the tornado that is, observed, but we're also seeing some really big size hailstones with this too. So if we can go ahead and pop on Max 2. So I've been keeping a close eye on the hail tracker, and this hail has been pretty massive. We're talking about tennis ball size hailstones, not exactly in LaSalle County, but just over into portions of LaSalle County. So I'm going to go ahead and zoom in on this one cell once again that David was just mentioning, and then we're going to be taking a radar tour looking at other locations that are dealing with some of that rainfall. So right now we have that tornado warning. This is for southern portions of LaSalle County. And you can see right here, this is a well-defined hook. So the National Weather Service is saying that this could actually be recycling. So we're going to be keeping on this tornado warning for these next about half an hour or so. This tornado warning does expire at 6:15. So let's go ahead and take a look at our velocity too. As we mentioned before, oh yeah, right here, you can see whenever we have those reds and greens, it's moving towards and away of the radar, that wind shear is. So we are dealing with a very dangerous situation just towards the south of Streeter. We're going to go ahead and put another track on this, putting back on the radar. Here is a look at the storm track. It's still moving east at 40 miles per hour. So we're going to get a new fresh timestamp on this for everybody. Winona, 5:33. So within 3 minutes, the storm is going to be overhead. Make sure you get to your safe place immediately. Long Point, 5:43. Streeter coming in at 5:50. That's within 20 minutes. That is enough time to seek shelter. If you know anyone who is driving, let's say I-55 as well as I-80, because that's close enough too, we are going to continue to monitor this. And then it looks like we do just have a new tornado warning that just got issued. So we're going to go ahead and take that off and take a look at that new tornado warning with everything that we are seeing here. All right, so there's that first one, that considerable tornado warning. Zooming up, this is right over Pontiac. Here is a look at the second one. We're going to just put a fresh little look on this so we can get in a little bit closer of a view. Tornado warning until 6:15. So both of these are going until 6:15. So we still do have some time. Current time is 5:31. And we're going to stay with you. We're going to stay on these cells. So this is what the National Weather Service was actually talking about when we were tracking these cells that were down towards the south. So here's a look at the fresh sweep. We're going to put the radar into the current look, and then we are going to move it just to the radar. Here we go. And then let's go ahead and look at other locations that's dealing with that heavy rainfall, because we don't want to leave you out. This is still the main line of concern that is up towards our north and towards our west. So places like Waukegan, back into McHenry, even into DeKalb, dealing with those heavy rain showers. We're also dealing with a lot of cloud-to-ground lightning too. So as I put on that cloud-to-ground lightning detector, I mean, you can see we have a line here from Aurora all the way back into Waukegan, but just on the other side of DeKalb and McHenry County, all of this is going to be headed our way. So let's go ahead and check in on these clusters of rain showers and thunderstorms again with those tornado warning cells too. I'm going to take off the lightning because that is just a little bit distracting. Let's go ahead and take that off. We will clear it for you, and then we're just going to put on the current radar, and then we're going to take a look at our velocity. So whenever we're looking at velocity, whenever we see those reds and greens really coming close together, that's that indication of those that rotation that is moving through. So here is a look at the tornado warning. There's again 2 of them, and from the National Weather Service, it looks like it is moving just south of Flanagan, which will be heading towards Pontiac here very soon. So we're dealing with not only 1 but 2 tornado warnings. So this one is not observed yet, but just looking at the latest scan with our velocity, it is far away from the radar, but it is still picking up some of those reds as well as some of those greens. So we're going to put a fresh sweep, and we're going to put a storm track so everyone can see what we are going to be looking at with these storms moving towards the northeast at about 45 miles per hour. So they're not the fastest moving storms whatsoever. And this is what we were expecting all day long. We will continue to have these southerly winds until that cold front finally can swing through. It is kicking up the heat. The humidity has already been high. Our ingredients have been there for these strong to severe storms. So we are putting a track on this now. Places like Reading, 536, Pontiac at 540, 542 in Streeter, Otter Creek at 545, Indian Grove, a 548 time frame for you, 552 in Nevada, 555 in Grand Rapids, Dwight coming in at 559, and Emmington 601. So that was the latest storm track. We've been keeping a close eye on it. David, I've been mentioning those hail sizes too. Quite large, quite impressive. We are dealing with, it looks like quarter. Earlier it was golf ball size hailstones. This is for the southern portion, the panhandle of LaSalle County. So a lot happening right here. It's not only a pretty big wedge rain-wrapped tornado, but we're also dealing with those hailstones, and everyone just needs to get to their safe place immediately.
Absolutely. I'll take it from here, Kylie. Thank you so much. And, you know, this tornado warning is a particularly dangerous situation down there. When we have a confirmed tornado, that means it's not just radar detected, it's not just possible in our area. This is a really dangerous situation that we need to take precautions for right now. So just get you oriented again on the regular radar. This is well southwest of Chicago. And again, we've had a lot of attention northwest of Chicago. These storms are not yet severe, but they will go severe as heat and moisture flow their way and they intersect that juicier atmosphere, which should be in place over Chicago by the time they get here. That's why the concert at Northerly Island, at Wrigley Field have been impacted or delayed by these storms. But the most significant thing going on in our viewing area, it's down here to the south. And look at this. You can tell this is a trend from Peoria into LaSalle County. We have significant storms that are firing up with the heat and moisture that has been able to flow back into our area. Let me just double check. National Weather Service isn't saying anything new. The line of storms near Woodstock, that's northwest in McHenry County, approaching cold front, bringing lightning, torrential downpours, gusty winds. Okay, still no severe thunderstorms there. We'll focus southwest of Chicago until we can fully get rid of these tornado warnings. I don't think that's going to happen real soon, though. What you've seen here is as this storm was moving toward LaSalle County, it was moving northeastward at 40, right? Now it's kind of taken a right turn. If you're on the same steering or the same heading as that storm, this is called a right mover, and it's pretty common with supercells. Once they root themselves to the ground or to the surface, they can take a right turn. So what this means for us is that if you're north of the tornado warning, Ottawa, you've got that hail coming that Kylie was just showing you. We'll take another look at that. Dime-size hail in the green, golf ball-size hail south of Ottawa. But if we put this into motion here, this is not really moving your way. Notice the storm has taken that right turn and taken some of the worst weather southeastward with it. We'll go back now to the most important thing during a tornado warning, and I would argue that that is the velocity. You can see, let's move the map here, just down this area. This is why Ottawa, we don't need to take our tornado precautions right now, because this storm has taken a right turn. But our friends in Wauponsee Township, Morris, southern Grundy County down to Dwight, this is why we need to get ready to take our tornado precautions, because you guys could be next in line, no doubt. We can see this array of rotating tornadoes. New tornado warning down in Pontiac that Kylie was just showing you, I think. This will make its way toward Kankakee County. This is the row of 3 different rotating storms that we have in our area. What this had on it was not only that debris signature, the TDS, tornadic debris signature in the gray color, but a tornado emergency. When this was down just 1 county southwest of LaSalle County, we had a rare tornado emergency, which is something you only see in our area, I don't know, once every 5-10 years. This is a very rare thing that you get maybe nationwide once or twice in a year. And to have it in our area, this is pretty extraordinary. The tornado emergency, though, has since been canceled or allowed to expire because it's no longer a confirmed large dangerous tornado that spotters and emergency managers have their eye on. This tornado, as Kylie was saying, may have broadened out. It may be cycling up and down. This is common, especially when you have a couple of supercells side by side that are kind of fighting for the atmospheric energy. Bottom line is, though, now, if you're in Streeter or Reading, there's a strong tornado that's possibly on your doorstep. Just to remind you of what to do in these areas, let's pull up our tornado safety graphic. This is a great illustration of what we mean when we say lowest floor, interior most room. If you were in this bedroom, you'd have outside windows. If you were in this bedroom, you probably have an outside wall right there. But in the interior most room, on the lowest level of the house, hopefully in a storm shelter or an underground basement, you have more walls of protection between you and that outside storm. And with the storms that are possible in this atmosphere today, EF3, EF4, the National Weather Service Storm Prediction Center saying intense EF4 or 5 tornadoes are possible. Those tornadoes are only survivable underground. If we have an EF4, heaven forbid today, or an EF5, those can wipe homes off of their foundation, even if you're in the centermost room of the 2nd floor. Make downstairs friends with your neighbors, because we need you guys to be underground whenever possible. Back to the tornado itself, let's freeze the radar so we can get a better idea, and also put on this special mode of the radar that we like to show you during tornado and severe weather events. Any progress on the tracker over there, guys? Okay, thanks. Keep me posted. This is highlighting where the tornado is most likely. Not only the broad green area, but when we see these reds and those embedded gold colors, these are the ones, especially the gold color, which I don't see any of right now, as the storm kind of cycles up and down, intensifies and weakens. Those are indicative of a tornado on the ground. We had that red gold color with the Kankakee tornado on March 10th. Hopefully we don't see that with this one, heaven forbid. But down in southern LaSalle County, this is the only confirmed tornado warning that we've got in the area. This is still for our viewing area, though, so we understand you. We appreciate your understanding as we cover this and cover your normal programming this evening. Just to get you oriented again, if you're tuning in just now, well southwest of Chicago, at the southwestern extent of our viewing area, we have a confirmed tornado on the ground, extreme southern LaSalle County, and this line of rotating storms is moving toward Grundy and Kankakee counties. We also have a new severe thunderstorm warning, it looks like, for DeKalb and McHenry County. This is in effect for the main line of storms which is moving our way until 6:30 tonight. These storms are the ones that are most likely, even guaranteed, to impact Chicago about an hour or two from right now. Those are not currently tornadic. This one is. We still have a tornadic debris signature on it. If there is a tornado, Kylie, I'm going to toss to you in just a second. It is right here west of Reading. Let's again look at the storm relative velocity. There it is, green, wind blowing toward, red, wind blowing away. This is really strong radar echoes, 64 miles per hour toward, some of these blowing away 66 miles per hour. So now we got 130 miles an hour of gate-to-gate shear. That's indicative of possibly an EF2 or 3 tornado. Fresh radar scan, that's why you saw the pixels jump. Let me just check the debris detector right where that lock is. And yeah, let me remove that so you can actually see. Kylie, look at this. We've got debris lofted in the air. This is the tornado right here west of Reading. It's on your doorstep. So Reading and Streeter, you need to be in your safe place right now. Kylie, back to you.
Yeah, exactly. So I do want to go back not only to that tornado warning, but to that severe thunderstorm warning, because we do not want to leave our northern communities out of this as well. So this is that latest severe thunderstorm warning. This goes until 6:30, including the Kettering as well as Winnebago, Boone. I know those are outside of our viewing area, but it is in McHenry, and it's going to continue to track off towards the east. So we will go ahead and put a storm track on that for everybody so we can see what is yet to come in our direction. So I do want to go ahead and look at all of this heavy rainfall. This rain is continuing to push through, and that tornado warning is down towards the south. We're going to go ahead and put a little bit of a reset on this while we get our weather computers straightened out here, so you can see that severe thunderstorm warning up towards the north. DeKalb, portions of DeKalb, you are included in that as well. We are dealing with that main line that is up towards the north and down towards our west, but it's these 1-2 discrete cells that are down towards our south. So they hit an environment. We have temperatures across our southern communities, upper 70s, lower 80s. So even though around 11 a.m. all the way till about 3 p.m. we had that one cluster of rain and storms push through that dropped our temperatures really quickly, now our temperatures have rebounded because of all of this southerly airflow. We're tapping into all of the Gulf moisture too. So we are dealing with not only heavy rainfall. A lot of these storms that do flare up, they are going to be rain wrapped, but the good news is we're still in the 5:30 hour and it's still light outside, but you need to make sure that you are seeking shelter, getting to your safe place immediately as we continue to look ahead, because this is the main line that we were concerned about, but it's those 2 tornado warnings that are down towards our south. So we're going to go ahead and take a look at these tornado warnings.
Tornado in progress just east of Winona.
Okay, so
eastward at 30 to 35 miles an hour. That's the confirmed warning. They are confirming that it is in progress right now.
Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look at the rotation from it. David, it looks like my clicker is also having some issues as well. All right, so if you want to go ahead and put us down to that tornado warning, those 2 that are down towards LaSalle County and the one just towards the southern end of that. Here we go. Thank you so much, David, for doing this. So you need to make sure that you are in your safe place immediately. So places including Streeter, it looks like Long Point, it's moving just towards the north of you, but Odell, we're dealing with that heavy rainfall, that rotation as well. I do want to go ahead, David, if we can put the velocity on so we can see where those couplets. Oh, yeah. So this is a large area of rotation right here. So thank you for putting those places on. Reading, Newton, Streeter. So it looks like if you are traveling on 23, you need to make sure that you are pulling off of the roadway. You're getting to a safe place. So it looks like some of these are up to about 30, 25 miles with that rotation. Let's go ahead and put it on correlation coefficient, David, if we can, to see if we can see anything that is non-uniform, meaning non-raindrops. And you can see a lot of these reflectivity colors popping up right around that reading area. So on top of this debris, on top of this tornado, we are dealing with torrential rainfall too. So remember where to go. Know where your safe place is at. That is inside the lowest room in an interior room. A bathroom is a good place to go, a closet. Sure. I want to let everyone know too that it's probably best with this type of situation if you have shoes on, because if there's broken glass, if there's debris, you don't want to be stepping on that. And also, if you're outside, every county, every location across Indiana, Illinois, probably the Midwest. If you are outside and you hear those tornado sirens, that means you need to go inside immediately, but you probably have gone on your phone. So if you are driving, if you know anyone in this area, you need to make sure that you are seeking shelter immediately. And this is, from my understanding, a pretty populated area too, all the way from Reading back into Newton, even into Streeter. So I'm going to go ahead and see if this will work really quickly before we go ahead and bring David back into everything. David, if you could just put the radar back on, I would appreciate that.
Sorry, you know, for our viewers who are watching us for 20 minutes now,
we're having some computer issues.
Remember the issues with our tracker? They're fixed.
Woo!
Thanks to our wonderful
team.
engineering team. Thank you guys back in maintenance. Now we can track out the arrival times. This is probably the most important part, and now we got you back. Okay, let's get you back on track here with our debris detector. Kylie was just doing a great job tracking that storm to the south of Chicago. If we look at the radar, this is right now showing you where the potential debris is located in this storm. This can be a useful thing for storms that are located out to our south and west, really on the local scale. Actually, even on this zoomed out scale, you can actually see where that debris detector is detecting some action right now. Let me step off screen just to make sure this little issue is fixed. You guys aren't doing anything back here with one, are you? Okay, wonderful.
David, are you coming back on, or we can go ahead and put 2 back on?
Yeah, do you mind taking 2 for a sec?
Yeah, so let's go ahead and put 2 back on, and I'm pretty sure my computer is set as well, thanks to our maintenance team for working up everything. Here we go. So let's go ahead and put a storm track on this one cell. And I'm just starting to look at a picture from the National Weather Service. So yes, we do have a large tornado near Reading, Illinois. Power flashes observed. It does look like it is a wedge type tornado. So we're going to try to get that picture for everybody. But if you are watching from Morris, 6:24 is going to be your arrival time. Aux Sable, 6:31. Troy at 6:48. So earlier today, we had some pretty fast-moving storms. Even yesterday, those storms ripped through the area so quickly. These tornadoes are not moving at that very fast speed. So it looks like that they could be on the ground for quite a while. And it looks like we're also seeing a debris signature on radar heading into the southern portions of Streeter. So let's go ahead and switch things over and we can look at that. All right, David, it looks like my clicker might not be working, so we might have to switch to your computer once again if this is not getting together. Or if I can go off screen. I'm going to put the correlation coefficient on. So I'm just going to be working back here for a little bit so we can track this out for everybody, because we were continuing to see some debris flying, some debris signatures near Streeter. So I'm going to clear this for everybody.
Just fixing our interactivity on the back end here, getting this back connected.
I think that's what was going. Yeah, that's what was going on. All right, so I'm just back here. We're going to be looking at the debris signature.
Do you mind driving Barron for me while we?
Yeah. So I will do that. I'm on Max 2 right now. We definitely have that debris signature very close to Streeter. So that's what the National Weather Service is looking at. And it looks like we might also, David, have a debris signature just towards the north of Pontiac.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's get you over on Barron if we can. Let's take Max 1.
Scooting over.
Thank you guys so much. Kylie, drive for me if you could, and let's go back in on these tornado-warned storms. As we fix, basically what's been happening is my finger isn't clicking the screen properly, so we're just going to drive the radar for each other, which is no problem at all. Our mobile weather lab up here in Kane County, there's a big line of storms approaching. Kylie, if you could take me into these storms in Ottawa, Morris, Grundy County, LaSalle County. These are the confirmed tornado warnings. As Kylie was just telling you, we have some information coming in off screen from the National Weather Service that there's a large tornado on the ground near Reading, Illinois. Power flashes have been observed. We have a debris signature on radar right now in Streeter. Let's go in on that Streeter area if we can, real tight. This is the confirmed tornado warning, the only tornado warning that we have in our area. Tiny sliver a low population compared to our entire viewing area. But if you're here, including our friends in Streator, this is a very serious situation that we need to take cover for right now. You can see red next to green showing really strong rotation in the atmosphere. If we go to the debris detector, let's hit that up and see what we're seeing. Oh, look at that. This is a ball of debris. This is a tornado on the ground. This is the weather, the radar seeing things that are uniform are shown by the red and purple. Radar bounces off of raindrops. They look the same. Hailstones even, they look relatively the same. But if the radar bounces off of a piece of a house or off of a piece of a car or off of a bunch of dirt or a piece of a barn that's been thrown up into the building, that is showing up as a different thing that the radar is seeing, which is why that debris ball is showing up. And it's even showing up on the reflectivity of the radar. This is a really strong tornado on the ground right now, just southeast of Streator, or on the southeast side of Streator. You're not seeing a perfect signature here on the Doppler wind field because this is far from the radar site. Our radar is up in Romeoville, and I wish we had radars in every county. We'd get great pictures of the tornadoes wherever they are. But due to the curvature of the Earth, when the radar shoots its beam out sideways, that kind of gets farther and farther away, or higher up into the storms, if you will, as we get farther from the radar. Nevertheless, you can still see this storm has tremendous rotation, wind blowing away from the radar, wind blowing toward the radar. Let's go back to the debris ball if we can, Kylie. Thanks so much for helping me out here. Southeast side of Streator now. This is where the tornado is. Let's go super tight on that debris ball if we can. National Weather Service saying the expected track of the tornado from Streator toward Ransom and Kinsman. Seeing a well-defined wall cloud with the storm south of here near Pontiac. This is a tornado on the ground. East 20th Road and Main Street. If these roads sound familiar to you, this is really on the south side of Main Street, a large tornado. Kylie, if you can, click that ruler up there for me next to the debris sign. Let's measure this debris ball on the latest scan, green to green. Let's go out here. This is at least a couple of miles wide. Now, that doesn't mean the tornado is necessarily a couple of miles wide, but if we, have not just the rotation up in the clouds, but this is tornadic debris that's shown a couple miles wide. This could either be a large, wide tornado on the ground, or it could be that debris has been lofted 10, 20,000 feet up in the air and maybe spreading out in that direction. That's also indicative of a super strong tornado, because not many tornadoes can loft debris, pieces of things that it's destroying 10, 20,000 feet into the air. But that's happening in strong tornadoes. That could be happening right here. Let's get folks oriented again. We are really tight here on a confirmed tornado warning. Thanks, Kylie. It's southwest of Chicago. This is for LaSalle County. We saw this storm coming. We gave you the first alert. There was a tornado emergency just southwest of our viewing area, and the storm was coming our way. As soon as that first warning was issued, we were on air with you. And this is not the only tornado warning that we're going to have. Chicago, too. These storms are eventually trending our direction, but there's also a separate squall line that we'll go to in just a minute with Kylie northwest of us that's causing some real trouble. So here's the track, thanks, on the tornado warned storm. This is the most serious storm that we have in our area, and here's the tracker working for us again. Wauponsee Township. I'm talking to the Bray Grove Farm. Get in your safe place. Have the donkeys go to their safe place. Anybody else in these other spots? Gardner, 637. Carbon Hill, 640. This tornado is not guaranteed to make it your way, but we need to take those tornado precautions as this storm moves eastward. It's not only throwing a lot of rain and hail out ahead of it. That's going to hit you first before any potential tornado. But the tornado itself, really nothing to mess with as it moves toward the east. This tornado appears to be really, there's the confirmed warning again. This purple area is where we really need to seek shelter right now. Places in Grundy County, let's prepare to seek shelter. There's the debris ball right there. It's paralleling our southern viewing area. I mean, look at that debris. This is right on the line of in versus out of our viewing area. And our friends east of Streator are the most under the gun. It looks to me like this is... Can the control room work really hard on getting some visuals on air for us? Because we've got social media pictures coming in off screen of a very large, dangerous tornado on the ground just southeast of Streator. Anything Rebecca in the control room can do, we sure appreciate. We also have our storm chaser that we've been in touch with today, Gabe Cox. Let's check in and see if he is on this storm and may be able to provide some live or recorded visuals for us. Thank you guys on the back end for getting some visuals to our viewers. We appreciate it. On the southeast side of Streator, this is the debris ball. This is not the rotation in the storm. This is stuff being thrown up in the air. Just crazy to see a debris ball that strong. Let's go back to the rotation, the storm relative velocity, and then Kylie, I'll give it back to you. I know you've got something to show us on your radar. This is about as significant of a tornadic signature as you can get in our area, and this is what's moving through extreme southeastern LaSalle County right now. No tornado warnings nor severe storms for Chicago yet, but our time is coming. We've got a busy evening ahead of us. Kylie Miller, glad you're here for the team coverage.
Yeah, so we're going to go ahead and keep on your computer, David, and I'm just going to be running it back here while we do get a few things situated. So we're still dealing with this tornado warning that is continuing through portions of the 6 o'clock hour. So here's a look at what you're experiencing. It looks like we have another cluster of rotation just towards the south of Odell. So this is moving up towards the north and east too. So if you're in Grundy County, I definitely want to make sure that you are in your safe place, because this is heading your way, and if it stays together, it is going to be impacting Grundy County, southern sections of it. So places like Dwight at 624, Gardner at 644, Essex at 655. So we are going to keep close eyes on that. And it looks like we do have 2 tornadoes that we're dealing with, and you can also see these debris signatures. I'm going to circle it. So it's just towards the south of Odell, but this one is still right over Streeter. So for portions of LaSalle County as well as Grundy County, we need to make sure that we are getting to our safe place, because we are dealing with a pretty significant situation. David, you've been looking at some reports, some pictures on our National Weather Service chat. The skies are looking very dark. They're also looking very ominous. This is a considerable situation. Hailstones have been over an inch in diameter too. So if you're watching us from Grundy County and you may not be under that tornado warning, you definitely need to seek shelter and think about where to go. Time now is 6 o'clock. If the kids have summer camp, if you are leaving, let's say, the library, you're trying to get home, it's right in the middle of rush hour. You do not want to be in this situation. The good news is the population doesn't seem this big across these areas. But again, seeing debris signatures just like this are just so impressive. And David, if we could put on the radar scan just so we can see how much rainfall is coming down. You can see also too these lightning bolts, these lightning strikes, cloud to ground lightning. So we are dealing with so much of that lightning. And if you can clear off, there we go too. So we're dealing with so much heavy rainfall. So the tornado that we are experiencing easily could be rain wrapped. And some of the pictures that we're actually looking at, we can see that we have those lowering of the clouds, those dark clouds. So yes, our news team is working really hard to get some of these pictures on there. So it looks like portions of Kankakee, as well as the extreme northern tip of Ford County, may be in line next for these tornadic storms. So it looks like around 7 o'clock we are going to be dealing with that. Joe and Erica, I know you guys have been keeping a close eye on the reports too. What are you seeing?
Yeah, thank you, Kylie.
Yeah, we are seeing some visuals, we are seeing some reports of visual confirmations of tornadoes in that area. It's a very active night, and as David and Kylie have been pointing out, somewhat rare occurrence as well. We have serious storms that we're keeping an eye on. We wanted to reset, though, now that we are at the top of the hour. Thank you for being with us. I'm Joe Donlin.
And I'm Erica Sargent. That first tornado warning coming in LaSalle County in the 5 o'clock hour. Our team here, First Alert Weather, that's David Yeomans and meteorologist Kylie Miller. They've been on top of this. We've seen the videos, as Joe said, starting to filter in on social media. Massive, what look to be massive funnel clouds out there. And as we've heard, David, from you, there has been some indication that there could be at least 2 tornadoes on the ground.
Yeah, and one of them in our viewing area, a large, dangerous tornado in Streeter. We have a storm chaser that we're working with, Gabe Cox, on the phone. Do we have that phone available with Gabe right now?
Hey, David.
Gabe, hey, man, it's been a while. Good to have you here. I hope you're staying safe out there. Tell us where you are and what you're seeing. Are you on these tornadoes near Streeter in LaSalle County?
Yes, David, I'm just to the northeast of Streeter. I just watched a tornado to my left rope out. It was the third tornado of this outbreak. I've got a tornado to my southeast that is developing. I'm trying to turn down this road, but this is tornado number 4 or 5, sorry. This is tornado number 5 that I've seen today. These have been strong tornadoes, David. These are no joke.
Yeah.
We had one that was nearly a mile wide. Actually, it expanded right when I was next to it. I had to back up quickly. But these are no joke. These are powerful tornadoes, higher echelon tornadoes, absolutely.
Yeah, we hope you're staying safe, by the way. If you need to concentrate on the map, please hang up with us. But if you're able to, Gabe, our storm chaser is live on these tornado-warned storms with confirmed tornadoes down in LaSalle County. Tell us how these tornadoes have been different from typical ones. You've seen how many tornadoes, Gabe? These are pretty impressive ones.
Yeah, I've seen well over 100 tornadoes, David, and these, I have to tell you, this is the most significant outbreak I have personally covered.
Wow.
These are rapidly organizing tornadoes. I'm talking within 30 seconds, it goes from a wall cloud to a full wedge on the ground.
Unbelievable, and we're working on getting some visuals from you and your team, so we really appreciate that. Where exactly are you on the map right now? Are you southwest of the tornado?
Right now, I'm on the northern cell by Ransom, and I'm looking to my south now, and there's a developing funnel, potentially tornado on the ground. The storm 2 that I'm pretty much underneath right now, I produced a couple tornadoes. It looks like those have roped out now. Currently no tornado on the ground with those, but definitely the one to the south of Nevada. There appears to be a developing tornado on those now, and that would be the 5th tornado that I've seen today.
So so you're heading toward Dwight. It looks like maybe intercepting that southern storm. Am I understanding that correctly? The one south of the Streeter tornado?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, great. Well, let me know what you see there. This is important to our viewers as well, because even though this tornado is not in our viewing area, it is moving toward Kankakee County. What we've seen in the meantime, northwest of where Gabe is, indications still of a large, dangerous tornado still likely on the ground. We've lost a little bit of the radar signature, but if we do have it here, it's likely in extreme southeastern portions of LaSalle County into southwest Grundy County. Gabe, you've seen what these tornadoes can do firsthand all too often, unfortunately. What are your words of advice for people in the path of this storm?
Take the warning seriously and don't delay in taking cover. These have quick motion to them. Even if a tornado is not on the ground, if a tornado warning is issued, these are developing extremely rapidly, going from wall cloud to violent tornado within seconds.
Gabe Cox live with us from the tornado-warned storms in LaSalle and near Grundy counties. Gabe, thanks so much. Please give us a call back, or we will call you in about 10 to 15 minutes. Stay safe out there, and we'll check with you for more updates. All right, buddy?
Will do. Thanks, David.
Thanks, Gabe. All right, let's get you back oriented now. If you're just joining us, we have a tornado-warned storm for a confirmed tornado that has been at least on and off on the ground. More so on than off, as it moved through the boot of southern LaSalle County towards Streeter, and now is making the transition into extreme southern Grundy County. All of this is well southwest of Chicago, not immediately threatening the city at all, but just near our mobile weather lab here. By the way, Control Room and Rebecca, we hope the mobile weather lab is going south. They should park somewhere likely in the Kendall County area, find some sturdy shelter where they will be able to ride out this line that's coming their way. Thank you guys there. We have a tornado warning across the Wisconsin state line, but just severe thunderstorm warnings on this line so far. No tornado warnings on the McHenry County line that's moving our way. We'll keep you posted there, though, because I know it's coming down pretty good right now in McHenry County. This is why we're most concerned and paying most attention to this area. Wauponsee. We gave you the first alert, Wauponsee Township, 10 minutes ago. Think about your tornado precautions. Take them right now. You are under not only a garden variety run-of-the-mill tornado warning, there's a confirmed tornado on the ground that's moving at you right now. And if we check in on the storm relative velocity, this is a good way to see the rotation in the storm. And I know it's a little far from the radar site, so we're not getting a great view, but this is sampling. Actually, let me check in on the regular velocity to get it even stronger. Let's go storm relative. This is sampling some winds in this tornado. Yeah, 60, that's not very impressive. the radar site is a little too far away to give us a really accurate portion of this. But bottom line is this confirmed tornado, which was on the ground near Streeter, has ridden the southern portion of LaSalle County, and now it's jogged a little bit northeastward, we think. Let's check back in on the shear. This can pinpoint it well. This green area right now is the highest tornado risk, and this is what's moving northeastward at 40 miles an hour. So, Kylie, we'll check back in with you in just a minute. This is why Wauponsee is really under the gun. The tornado, if it is on the ground, and it likely is from everything we're hearing, heading northeastward, we still have a 40-mile-per-hour motion, is that right? 35 to 40?
Yep.
Okay, so it's kind of east-northeast. So here's the accurate track if this tornado stays on the ground. And honestly, the atmosphere says there's no reason it won't stay on the ground because we have so much heat, so much energy, and so much spin in the atmosphere right now. Wauponsee Township, tornado precautions now because we've got a warning for you and an arrival at 6:14. That's only 8 minutes from right now. Carbon Hill, 6:29, Braidwood, 6:34, even toward Joliet, Manhattan, Lockport. These are some really populated areas which could eventually be in the path of this confirmed tornado. A confirmed tornado warning still in effect now for extreme southeastern LaSalle County and much of Grundy County. If we do have a tornado on the ground right now, it is right here southwest of Wauponsee. And again, our control room working really hard on getting some visuals for our viewers because we've seen some things off screen that we don't quite have permission to show you yet that show this is a very dangerous situation. Kylie Miller with me in the First Alert Weather Center. What are we watching, Kylie?
I was going to say we just have a new tornado warning from the National Weather Service. That is for that cell that was out just down towards the south. It is now including portions of Kankakee County.
Ooh. And this new one goes until 6:45.
It's moving northeast at 40 miles per hour.
Thank you.
So weather spotters confirmed a tornado. So again, we have another confirmed tornado.
Northeast at 40.
Yes.
Okay, here's the track for a different tornado. Thank you, Kylie. Interrupt me again when you got something. This is a much stronger tornadic signature right now than the one in Wauponsee. Doesn't mean that you don't have a tornado in Wauponsee. This just might mean we have a stronger one south of Dwight. This is the one actually that our storm chaser Gabe Cox is on, so we're going to check back in with him here in just a moment. But the arrival times on this new confirmed tornado warning for new areas of Kankakee and Will counties at the times listed on your screen. This is still not an imminent threat for Chicago, but maybe you have family out in Braceville, or maybe you have friends out in Wilmington or Bourbonnais. We need to give them a call, make sure they're aware of the situation. You can watch us on Channel 2. You can stream us on your phone, cbschicago.com, on your computer, on your streaming service, on your TV. You might not know. You can search for CBS Chicago. Watch this live stream all evening with me and meteorologist Kylie Miller. Kankakee actually under the gun for this potential second tornado on the south side that we were watching rotate, now a confirmed tornado by, looks like 6:56 p.m. So, two different tornadoes approaching or in our area, both of these well south of Chicago, but both of them absolutely menacing. Go back to the velocity, yeah, and this is a classic tornado signature. Let's go check in on our friends in Wauponsee Township real quick. We've seen the rotation broaden out a little bit. Still remain in your tornado safe place, please, because we have a confirmed warning for you, but not as concerning on the radar right now as it was. But south of Dwight, this is a serious tornado on the ground right now. I've shown you the shear, but this is really, you see that horseshoe? This is a classic sign of a tornado on the ground right now near Odell, moving south of Dwight. In Dwight, you need to be on your tornado precautions right now, especially if you're on the southeast side of the city. What do I mean when I say, oh, there's a new scan looking even stronger southeast or east of Odell? When I say tornado precautions, hopefully a lot of us have basements or a storm shelter underground in these rural areas. Go to your basement, go away from any outside walls and windows. If you have like a half basement with a little window on top like I do, we don't want you in that room because that's still an outside wall and it's still an outside window that could break if the worst were to happen and tornadoes were to approach your area. Underground is best. If you can't go underground, or even if you can, middle of your house. So maybe it's a hallway away from outside walls and windows. Maybe it's a bathroom like you see highlighted here on our friendly little animation. Or maybe it's a coat closet or something that has many layers of protection between you and the outside tornado. That's where we want you to be. I've told you this before today, but I'll say it again if you're just tuning in. The kind of tornadoes that we're expecting today, the kind of tornadoes that are possible in this atmosphere, according to the NOAA Storm Prediction Center and from what we're seeing, are possibly unsurvivable above ground. So we need you to heed your warnings, get underground. Yes. Let's go. Video of the tornado. This is the tornado as it moved through Streeter. Looks like it's coming from Bullmore Streeter, who spotted the tornado. This is a well-defined funnel that's making contact with the ground. We call that the condensation funnel, the gray tornado itself that you know. And you can't see the debris being thrown because that tree is right in the way. But no doubt, when you have a condensation funnel making contact with the ground, you also have the tornadic winds making contact with the ground. So this is a great illustration of that. That was the Streeter tornado as it passed near Streeter. Now, we've seen pictures, and we're working on getting you the latest, of a tornado even more impressive looking than that, with that cell, and I'll bet no doubt with this Dwight cell as well. The National Weather Service just saying the tornado near Odell here will track between Dwight and Campus, currently favoring closer to Dwight, although it may take a little bit of an easterly turn, kind of that right mover supercell thing that I was just telling you about. We'll zoom back in here toward Dwight. And actually, let's go over to Kylie here. I want to check something off screen. Kylie, what are you watching in the First Alert Weather Center?
Okay, so we have a severe thunderstorm warning that is now up towards our north. This is for portions of King County. So I don't want to leave our friends out of it, out of this team coverage, because we're dealing with those tornadoes across our southern zones. But I do want to check in McHenry, back into Algonquin, Buffalo Grove, Waukegan. We do have that severe thunderstorm warning. This latest severe thunderstorm warning goes until 7:15. So with this one, I'm not seeing a tornado threat with it, which is great news. But what we are dealing with is 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts, as well as quarter-size hail. So we're expecting hail damage to vehicles, to your windows. That's why it's so important to hear these warnings, go inside immediately. So heavy rainfall. We're also going to have to watch about 1 to 3 inch rain totals per hour in some cases within some of these thunderstorms that are developing. So I do want to go ahead and look at the velocity just so we can see. Yep, we're these really strong winds up here. And for the hail size, again, hail has been a huge concern with our northern storms. So places including McHenry, back into Coral, even into Waukegan, we have been dealing with those heavy rounds of rain, pea-sized hailstones too. But just because it seems minor, it can definitely do some damage. Another radar sweep in Evanston, back into Schaumburg, having some scattered rainfall right now. The worst has not impacted you yet. So I do want to talk about your hour-by-hour futurecast, because this is that line that's continuing to move through. So it's moving west to east. And some of these supercells have been flaring up, especially across our southern zones south of I-80. And that's because we have really warm temperatures there. So all day long, Laura was in this morning, David, we've been upgraded to that 4 out of 5 risk. This is a risk that is pretty rare. So when we talk about these temperatures, once we had that first line roll through earlier this afternoon and knocked down our temperature significantly. At points of the afternoon, we were only in those low to mid 70s. And now we're in those upper 70s and those low 80s from Ottawa, Morrison, Kankakee. And that's exactly where we're seeing that strengthening tornado threat. So Morris right now we're at 77 degrees. Kankakee we're at 80. It's very humid. It's been humid for the past few days. So until this cold front that is still up towards our north and west can swing through, we're going to be dealing with these high humidity levels, these hot temperatures as well. So here's a look at that tornado warning. Again, that latest one, this one is observed considerable for Grundy, Kankakee, as well as Livingston County. This will include hailstones about 1.25 inches, very significant there. This goes until 6:45, and then the one just up towards the north for Grundy County, this one goes a little bit less, but still, David, we're dealing with these 2 little clusters that are across our southern zones just because our ingredients are right there for some of that spin in the atmosphere.
Kylie, that's right. And speaking Which the National Weather Service is just contacting us and saying that the storm over Kankakee County, over Kankakee itself actually, ahead of those tornado warned storms, that is starting to rotate as well. So as Kylie was just showing you, got some scattered rain in Chicago. If you hear it raining in the northwest suburbs, no tornado warnings. We do have a severe thunderstorm warning up toward Crystal Lake, Algonquin, much of Lake County. This is for dangerous winds, but no tornadoes yet. With that said, we do expect incredible widespread tree damage and power outages. Last night, there were 500,000 people in the Chicagoland area without power. Only half of those had been restored as of a couple hours ago. Now we're going to start back again from ground zero, possibly get even worse. As we get back on these two storms real quick, and then we're going to get to our storm chaser, Gabe Cox. This is the storm over Kankakee, which is starting to rotate. I know our friends in Aroma Park don't want to hear this after the March 10th deadly tornado that moved there into northwest Indiana in Newton County, but we are seeing at least some rotation aloft. Not ground level, not low level lock. This is not that serious yet. Let me make sure both of these are on, and they are. So if any locks or tornadic debris is picked up, we'll be alerted here first. We are seeing some shear, some spin in the atmosphere over Kankakee. So no tornado precautions yet, but be ready. If you have friends or family in Aroma Park, Kankakee, Bourbonnais, and Momence, be ready to take tornado precautions very seriously. Let's get back to the two tornado warned storms, a quick update on radar, and then a check-in with our friend Gabe Cox. Confirmed warnings continue for both of these. So Wauponsee Township, area southeast of there in Grundy County, stay in your tornado safe place. Still have plenty of shear detected across the area, possibly a tornado embedded within all of that. If I could home in on where the most likely tornado is right now, is no clear signature of it, so we've got to really take this warning seriously all throughout Grundy County. South of us, though, it's much easier to pick up. There's a tornado on the ground, no doubt, near Dwight. Speaking of which, our tornado chaser Gabe Cox joining us, who came to Illinois just to see this event because it's so spectacular. Gabe, are you on this storm near Dwight, and what are you seeing? Wow, look at that.
Hi, David. Yes, I'm just north of Dwight, so unfortunately the hook of the storm is blocking my view. I do have colleagues that are further south of me, and they can confirm a tornado on the ground.
So you are probably just west of Dwight, right? Are you wrapping around the south side of it?
So I'm just to the north. I'm due north of Dwight right now.
Okay.
I'm probably about 5 or 10 minutes max to a visual, but my colleagues to the south said they reported intermittent elephant trunk tornado on the ground.
Wow, elephant trunk tornado, you heard Gabe say. That's kind of like the video we saw from Streeter. Kind of looks like an elephant's trunk, a big a stovepipe type of tornado, or a kind of a uniform cone that extends down toward the ground. Gabe, I know you're probably looking at radar yourself, but this has the really classic hook presentation, a real serious supercell moving into our area, and this is the one that's moving toward western Kankakee County. I'm curious, in your travels around these two tornadic thunderstorms, have you seen any debris in their wake?
Oh, absolutely, David. Unfortunately, we saw some debris being lofted. I believe it was mainly farms and silos that got hit. We did see a house that got completely enraptured by the tornado. It was surrounded, and somehow, still standing by the time the tornado passed over. So they are destructive tornadoes. That house got really lucky. The tornado happened to weekend just before it hit. But we've seen debris lofted very high into the air with these tornadoes, snapped power poles, trees snapping just beside our vehicles.
You said the house was still standing. That's remarkable and very lucky for those folks. You're right. As we zoom in here on this tornado-warned storm near Dwight, this wrapping around, this is what we call the hook echo, and this is the most dangerous part of the storm, no doubt the tornadic part of the storm. We can actually still see a small debris signature, Gabe, on radar just east-southeast of Dwight, and this is moving toward the northeast. So our friends in Kankakee County, there's likely a tornado on the ground coming your way. Gabe, you said you have some friends who are looking at this tornado right now. What have they seen on this storm in particular?
The last I heard, David, was about 5 minutes ago, and they were mentioning a sporadic tornado. I would say at this point, based on radar presentation, that it has become better organized, at least on radar. I can only imagine that there's a solid tornado on the ground there. I'm northwest. Unfortunately, not the best angle of attack for a storm chase. I'm going to be cautious here, but I should have a visual soon.
Okay, yeah, please be safe. Gabe, we'll check back with you in about 10-15 minutes. Feel free to give us a call as well if you see anything. And thank you for any visuals you can provide. Please keep yourself and your crew safe. Gabe Cox, our tornado chaser, out in the field for us tonight. Thank you so much, Gabe. In the First Alert Weather Center, we're also looking ahead of that tornado-warned storm. I told you a moment ago that Kankakee and Aroma Park need to think about their tornado precautions. National Weather Service just said getting more concerned for tornado potential for the storm between Limestone and Bourbonnais as it moves northeast. So here we are. We can see some strong winds detected from that storm. We don't quite have the winds blowing in the other direction that would indicate a serious tornado, but I'll bet we've still got some shear. Yeah, we do. Let's get to the video now. This is a new video coming into our newsroom, not of the potential rotation in Kankakee, but this is just east of Streeter from the confirmed tornado that was on the ground earlier. And look at that. Strong inflow winds that are rocking these trees. You see how the leaves are blowing toward the tornado? That's inflow that's feeding this low-level circulation. The tornado sucks in all the air at the ground level from 360 degrees around it, wraps it up and ejects it up high, 30, 40,000 feet up into the sky. Great view of that dangerous tornado about 20 minutes ago that was moving on the east side of Streeter. Thank you to Gary and Chris for sending us that. Hopefully everybody's staying safe in that area. If you have any visuals you want to send us, by the way, it's a great way to remind people to stay safe. You know, looking at it on radar is one thing. Looking at a tornado on the ground is quite another. And research has actually shown that people seeing the tornado, even if it's not with their own eyes, because we don't want you to go storm chasing or look for it yourself, it can be more effective in making people take the situation more seriously. So that's why visuals are important, in addition to just being incredible to look at. Back to these two tornado-warned storms. We've got, oh, Kylie, look at this on the north side here of Grundy County. I know you've been watching this. Our friends in Wauponsee Township in western Grundy County, probably getting toward the point where a couple minutes from right now, you can come out of your tornado safe place as this all moves east of you. But this on the northeast side of Grundy County, Kylie, is looking a little worse than it did. Yeah,
absolutely. So we're going to keep a close eye on that because right there, as David's showing, that rotation detector, we are dealing with some of that rotation, some of that spin. I do want to point out for places, including Streeter, an area that got hit super hard just a few moments ago. They're not completely done with the rainfall just yet. So we're still seeing some more movement happening on the other side of these cells that we've been tracking, David and I here. So Streeter, you're going to be getting hit by heavy rainfall again, but right now it just is looking like rain. And I do want to take a tour up to our north because, yes, we have some supercells down towards the south, but this is starting to form, David, more like a QLCS, a quasi-linear convective system. And this was the main line that we are really concerned about, and we've been warning everyone about for the past few days now. And now it is here. It is arriving. It looks like there's a confirmed tornado just in southern portions of Wisconsin, but from Lake County are now under a severe thunderstorm warning. This goes for another at least 30 minutes or so you need to make sure you're getting into your safe place. So along this line, we're not so much concerned with these huge supercells, but instead it's going to be these little spin-ups inside the line. And this one has the potential to be rain-wrapped, a pretty dangerous situation because all of this is tracking from the west over to the east. So areas, David, that already got hit, they're going to be getting hit again along this cold front that's sparking up those rain showers, those thunderstorms, and some very serious winds.
Yeah, and that QLCS you're talking about, that line of storms you're talking about, doesn't look as crazy in terms of a tornadic storm, a supercell, but a QLCS is what led to the all-time record tornado outbreak here 2 years ago, right? It was a line just like that instead of these discrete storms. So thank you, Kylie. We'll get back to you here in just a minute. Back to the confirmed tornado, which is just about to enter our viewing area here. This is south of the Grundy County line, but here it comes now into western Kankakee County. By the way, this little storm over Kankakee, Bourbonnais, and Aroma Park, mid-level rotation is weakening. Okay for tornado precautions right now. We'll let you know if that changes. Good news for you. Bad news, though, is quickly on its heels. This is a tornado on the ground, and it's moving toward those same areas in the next 30 minutes, assuming it stays on the ground. warm feed of air coming in from the south. No storms in its way to hog the energy or hog the moisture flowing into that storm. This is called a tail end Charlie. Sometimes we call that the most southern storm has freest inflow. All of this warm, humid air coming up from the south, unobstructed. Nobody fighting it for all of the energy. This one, oftentimes the strongest tornado in the line. That's what we saw during the March 10th tornado, and that could be, I hope I'm wrong, but it could be what we're seeing here with the tail end of the line heading into Kankakee and parts of Will County. Again, if you're in these areas, a lot of you are not under a tornado warning yet, so you don't need to sound the alarm. Your tornado sirens have not literally sounded yet, but think about what you're going to do in the next few minutes, because tornado warnings will be extended your way. If you want to go ahead and go down to the basement, bring your iPad streaming, CBSChicago.com. Go for it. We'll keep you posted. We'll let you know, of course, when it's safe to come back out. So again, that rotation is weakened. This one more significant coming into western Kankakee County. Let's stop showing you this funny-looking rotation detector. Now you can see on the more typical radar, this hook echo still looking really like a classic supercell. This is south of Braidwood. Braidwood getting some hail, some wind, and really heavy rain. But up toward Joliet, we have an expanding area of really heavy rain and lots of lightning. Put on the lightning counter here real quick on this cell. You can see, I'll shrink this one down, and 119 strikes in the last 10 minutes. So that's not a tremendous amount of lightning, but look, the counter's increasing, and I always tell you, lightning count increasing means there's more rising air in the storm, more ice hitting ice and creating an electrical charge. That means the storm is intensifying. So this is bad news for our friends from Morris all the way up to Homer Glen, Lockport, and Joliet. This is a severe storm for the part near Saratoga, but not yet severe in western Will County. But we also need to watch this, of course, for potential rotation. So we're doing all of that simultaneously, which is why we have team coverage for you here this evening. Storm relative velocity, watching for any sneaky hints of rotation here. Don't see any in that storm I'm talking about heading toward Homer Glen yet. Good news for you for now. Grundy County, I suspect this confirmed tornado warning will be allowed to expire in 5 or 10 minutes. So in Waponsie Township, you guys are safe to come out now from your hiding, your safe place. But in eastern parts of the county, you're certainly still under the gun. So please take this warning seriously. McHenry County now going under a flash flood warning, Kylie. Lake County also coming shortly, so we'll check in on that northern line. Flooding, as if we didn't have enough to worry about, is also a significant issue. We've heard from our control room that we have CBS's Rob Marciano live for us, or preparing to be live for us, down in Dwight. We're going to check in with him and his crew as soon as he gets his signal up, so I just want to let you know that's coming. Don't... Rob had to run because there was a tornado, you said? There you go. A meteorologist, Rob Marciano, well-respected meteorologist, couldn't set up his live shot because a tornado approached. So this is a really dangerous, really fluid situation. And if the trained professionals are getting, a little bit caught off guard by these quick-moving storms, think of people who don't even know that there are tornado warnings issued. This is why we want you to spread the word. Call your friends and family in this area. Make sure they're safe as well. In Kankakee, a couple more storms developing. Little bit of a concerning sign on this one south of Peatone in northern Kankakee County. We'll keep an eye on that. One more time. Okay, back to our chaser, Gabe Cox. Let's get back in on this storm. Gabe, I assume you're on the storm we're looking at on radar east of Dwight. Are you on 17 or where are you? What are you seeing?
David, I'm on a county road north of the circulation. I can confirm tornado is on the ground.
Wow.
Came out of the rain patterns and there was a stout stovepipe tornado. We've got a bit of a cone tornado now. It's narrowed just a bit, but it is still very much on the ground.
So this is it. This is the one we're zooming in on. And Gabe, I've got a debris ball on radar. Just if Scully Road sounds familiar to you, Scully and Campus Road, north side of East 3200 North, coming down Route 17. This is moving into our viewing area and moving into, looks like now the debris ball just south of 17. This is coming into western Kankakee County now. Gabe, are there any other cars out there? Are there any traffic jams as people try to evade the tornado? What are you seeing?
David, I'm on the county roads north of town, so it's pretty in the more remote area. I believe I'm on Scully Road. If
Okay.
That sounds familiar. I do see debris still on the ground.
Right there. Yep.
Let's see. Yeah, tornado is still on the ground.
So we've got our trained tornado chaser who has seen more than 100 tornadoes, saying that this is unlike any tornado outbreak he's ever covered, with how quickly these storms are developing and how intense these tornadoes are appearing to be. He's right here on Scully Road looking southward, and he's saying that right here, let me pull up the debris ball so you can see one more time. We'll try the storm relative velocity. Got to move my finger here. He's saying that the tornado is still on the ground. Gabe, we asked you this 15 minutes ago, but have you seen any more damage in the wake of these tornadoes now that you've been driving on different roads and the tornado has progressed?
No, David, not since we last talked. I've been north of this tornado, so I can't confirm any damage from it. It seems actually to have just lifted, but there's still strong rotation within the wall cloud, and I imagine with the way this afternoon has been played out, these storms are not done.
No doubt, and I've still got the debris ball on radar, Gabe, so this scan was less than a minute and a half ago. There's either debris that's still lofted in the storm, the intense rising motion is so strong it hasn't come down yet, or the tornado just lifted, and you heard from Gabe that it just has. But if he's on Scully Road looking south. If you're anywhere near or south of 17, north of Buckingham in western Kankakee County, take your tornado precautions right now. Gabe, what's your plan as you watch this storm? Of course, we want you to do so safely. Are you going to stay on that north side of it? Of course, it is moving northeast, so be careful.
David, yeah, I'm to the north of it. I'm actually on a pretty rugged back road right now, trying to get back to some pavement. I'm going to try to keep up with the storm as much as I can and keep an eye on it for you guys. Yeah,
please do, Gabe. We'll check back in with you shortly. Gabe Cox, live right now on a tornado moving into western Kankakee County. Gabe, thank you so much. What we've got right now is a three-dimensional view of the radar, and sometimes you can actually slice the storm in half and lean down a little bit to see what's going on up inside of the storm. This is kind of a confusing view to look at, I know, but it can be a way to actually see. And you can see those little contours right there as I move it. You can actually see sometimes tornadic debris that's being lifted into the storm. Now, let me just see if we've got any. I think this debris view might give us a clearer view. And this is just a two-dimensional debris view. So we'll try that again with the velocity once the tornado touches back down. But sometimes you can actually see the vertical slice, the vertical profile of a tornado spinning. Really wild. Would not surprise me to see that with these storms that we've got today. Let's get back to meteorologist Kylie Miller in the First Alert Weather Center. We're watching two confirmed tornado warnings still well southwest of Chicago, Kylie. And
now just towards the north in Will County, we have a new severe thunderstorm warning that was just issued by the National Weather Service. So this cell is moving northeast at 40 miles per hour. So we are continuing to monitor the potential for some large hailstones with this heavy rainfall. It doesn't look like we have any rotation at the moment. This is, though, a severe thunderstorm warning. So Will County, now you need to seek shelter. You need to get inside. If you're outside, you need to get to your safe place immediately. Remember, know where to go. And let's put a storm track on this, because from Joliet back in Wilmington, we do have this cluster of rain and storms. So putting a look at that track. So New Lenox coming your way at 6:54, for Frankfort at 7:17, Country Club Hills 7:25, Hazel Crest at 7:29, Homewood at 7:41. So again, we have that new severe thunderstorm warning. This goes for Will County for another at least 45 minutes. We'll have to see if it does expire. Those tornado warnings that are still down towards the south portions of Grundy County as well as Kankakee County. You can still see that well-defined hook. The last that we heard from our storm spotter is it was lifted, but it could recycle. It could go back down. So you need to stay in your safe place. But I want to go back up towards our north, that QLCS that we're continuing to monitor. Now, earlier today, we had a huge cluster of thunderstorms take up quite a bit of energy, but this was the main line that we were concerned about. So it's still from Waukegan, back in McHenry, even into DeKalb. I'm going to put those lightning bolts on here. You can see how much lightning, just super impressive, not impacting the Chicagoland area yet. But let's put a storm track on this so we can actually see when we are going to be getting hit from this line of rain showers and thunderstorms, as it will continue to track off towards the east at about 50 miles per hour. So Waukegan 648, Palatine 708, Wheeling 722, Aurora 740, O'Hare 754, Ottawa 806, Edgewater 831, 853 for Chicago, and then it looks like Joliet around 923. So this is that cold front that we're continuing to see swing through. Behind it, it's going to be much better weather-wise, but still along and ahead of it, that's where we're dealing with all of this wind and heavy rainfall plus some lightning. It looks like we just have a 35-mile-per-hour wind gust in Rochelle, DeKalb coming in at 24, same thing in Aurora, so not as strong as yesterday's, but this could still pick up some steam, especially as it gets in that more energetic environment where we do have those tornadoes at. So David, I'm going to keep a close eye on this QLCS, and then you can continue to track that tornadic activity.
Love it. Sounds great. And I know that's the biggest threat to Chicago right now as well over the next couple hours. So thanks for keeping us posted. Make sure we don't miss anything with those flash flood warnings that we have to deal with as well. Right now, we still have a tornado warning only for a very small portion of our area. It's extreme southeastern Grundy County. So much of Grundy County, you guys can come out of your tornado safe place. You are in the clear for now. More storms developing to the southwest. But western Kankakee County, this is really the area that we're starting to home in on. And the National Weather Service pointing out what we're seeing as well. Basically, just south of Kankakee County, we have two basically mini supercells forming. Remember this little notch right there? That indicates tornadic rotation potential, at least rotation in the clouds. Sometimes it can be a precursor to an actual tornado forming. We're going to keep a very close eye on that for our friends in Newton and Kankakee counties. But back to the most pressing issue in our viewing area right now, it's this. Near Essex, we have a confirmed tornado warning for what has been potentially a long-track tornado. It started southwest of Streeter. It started with a tornado emergency southwest of even our viewing area out of LaSalle County. It moved from Streeter into extreme southern Grundy County, now likely still on the ground as it moves into western Kankakee County. So the movement on this still east-northeast at about 40, right, Kylie?
Yep.
On the confirmed tornado?
I'll double check, but yes.
So let's just we'll track this out for you. It has taken a bit of an eastward jog as we suspected it might. But if we track it out about 35 to 40.
East at 40.
East at 40, thank you. Directly east. You know what that puts, Kylie? That's Kankakee.
Kankakee is the same area that got hit back on March 10th.
Aroma Park. You guys are right in the path of a confirmed tornado. So I know you're not under a tornado warning right now, but in Kankakee, in Aroma Park, in many of these communities listed, especially through about 7:08, let's say, yet to be determined if it'll still be on the ground at 7:30. Take your tornado precautions, please, right now. Sometimes it can take a while to gather your friends, family. Kids might be outside playing. You might need to make some phone calls. Get everybody home now. Think about being underground in the centermost room of your house. I was down there in Aroma Park the day after the deadly tornado and saw what those people went through. We don't want anybody hurt, injured, or worse by these storms tonight. So, confirmed tornado warning moving toward the Kankakee area, even though we don't have a warning yet there. We will keep you abreast of this situation because this has been the most threatening storm in our viewing area, and it's taken a due east jog right to those areas that were hit back on March 10th. So we'll be watching that track closely. Let's get back into the tornado itself. Let's check, first of all, the pure velocity, if you will. This is kind of a pure view at the winds blowing in the atmosphere. We don't see any destructive thunderstorm winds with this. Let's check the storm relative velocity. This subtracts the storm forward motion. So now, as if the storm were standing still, you can actually kind of get a slice of which wind is blowing which way in the storm, and it's a much clearer way to see rotation in a storm that's moving 40 miles an hour. Here's the center of the rotation. Not a powerful, tornado signature on the velocity scan, at least, east of Essex, heading toward Bonfield. Bonfield not yet in the warning, so we'll see if the National Weather Service extends those. Let me check on the shear because this is a great way to check it as well. Still some indications for sure of a potential tornado. We're not seeing the highest, you see the legend right here. We're not seeing the highest colors that indicate a strong tornado is on the ground right now. But from Essex down south towards 17, we need you in your tornado safe place right now. Just to remind you, this is going to be the lowest floor of your home or basement. This is going to be the interior-most room in that structure. We don't want you out driving. We don't want you in an apartment building on the third floor. I know we don't have a lot of skyscrapers down there. If we see tornadoes in skyscrapers in Chicago later tonight, though, This applies to you too. Go into the stairwell in the center of the building and go down. We don't want you in your unit with big windows. So folks down south, this applies to you right now. Let's go to the interior room, lowest level, hopefully the basement. In this animation here, this would be the room of choice. It's an interior bathroom or coat closet or under the stairs for you with several layers of protection, multiple walls between you and that outside tornado. This can protect you should the worst happen and should, a storm move your way. Let's get a broader view on the perspective. I know we've been talking a lot about these rural areas south of Chicago, and we appreciate you understanding if we're covering up your favorite show this evening. We have dangerous tornadoes that have been moving through our far southern viewing area. Confirmed large tornado at times on the ground has trekked from just southwest of LaSalle County to Streator through southern Grundy County and now entering Kankakee County. We'll get you oriented with the broader view of the storms as well and check back in with Kylie on this line moving toward Chicago from the northwest in just a minute. Severe thunderstorm flood warnings on that as well as some really torrential rain comes down. By the way, our crews in the mobile weather lab, they are hopefully thinking about, guys, a safe place to be as these storms roll in. We don't have tornado warnings heading there yet, but that line may go tornadic. So I'm ready to tell you on the mobile weather lab, let's tell them to find a suitable, safe and sturdy structure. And we actually have a live view right now from the mobile weather lab. Looks like they've parked the vehicle for the time being, maybe fueling up on some coffee before a long night. But one more time. Yeah, absolutely, yeah. So we'll check back in with the mobile weather lab. We've got our crew, Jermont Terry, and his photojournalist with him. We'll check back in with them, make sure they're staying safe as well, and also make sure they're giving us the best view of these storms tonight as they roll towards Chicago. As we continue to track this storm south of the Chicago area, let's check in on the video that we've received of it so far. The tornado warning not extended toward Kankakee yet. We'll check back in 60 seconds. Check out this tornado video if you haven't seen it yet. I know your social media probably looks like this. I know your friends and family might be calling you, texting you videos or pictures. Here it is. This looks like a rope tornado. You can see the condensation funnel making contact with the ground, or close to it at least. And you see how it kind of squiggles as it gets up toward the cloud? This is really a new tornado warning. Thanks, Kylie. Let's get to that right now. This was the tornado earlier as it moved through Streator. Thank you to Aubrey for sending that. Looks like that was as the tornado fell apart. Okay, here it is. New tornado warning. We told you this was coming. Manteno, north side of Kankakee, anywhere in the northern fringes, northwestern sections, especially of Kankakee County. Take your tornado precautions right now. These boxes look different because the one near Essex is a confirmed tornado warning. That means it's for sure on the ground. This one is red because maybe the tornado has lifted. Remember a second ago, the rotation had weakened, the shear markers had weakened. These tornadoes can go in and out, and if a tornado lifts and then touches down again, it's actually considered a different tornado. You can't have a broken track. If we have like a long track tornado for 40 miles, that's an unbroken 40 miles. The tornado appears to have lifted for now, but this is still what I called a second ago, well, kind of the tail end Charlie. We've got southwest winds feeding this, so unobstructed inflow, plenty of warm, humid, moist air coming into this, and this is why the tornado warning has been extended. This applies to folks east of Essex, just north of Bourbonnais, up toward Manteno. Let's take a live view of the Kankakee River Dam. This is coming from one of our crews, Dan. Oh, this is from the town website. Okay, well, thank you to the city of Kankakee. You can see what I assume is the Kankakee River there coming over the dam, and look at those skies darkening up. Assume we're looking toward the west, because if we're in Kankakee at the dam, west is where the storms are. You can see a tremendous amount of water flowing in the river. We've had a lot of rain in the area over the last several days. We are under a flood watch, so more rain that comes is going to flood more easily because the ground is saturated. But thank you, Dan, in the control room. There's a great live view of some bugs and also, of course, those menacing storms approaching from the west. We've seen some cloud-to-ground lightning, no doubt damaging winds, and also the real potential of a tornado. National Weather Service saying they've issued this new tornado warning for northwestern Kankakee County that we just showed you and south central Will. The storm is now moving northeast at 30. So let's put a new track on that back on the weather computer. Thanks, guys, and we'll watch that storm to the south near Kankakee. Actually, so that was the storm we were looking at right there. So this possible tornado is now moving northeastward. This is good news for our friends in Aroma Park in Kankakee. We were talking how you were hit so hard months ago by the rare March EF3 tornado. Now this storm has taken a jog back to the northeast, so no reason to be in the basement at this time. Thank you for taking your tornado precautions seriously, though. As this moves northeast, though, at 30 miles an hour, here's the new track for what will be, at times, a tornado on the ground, moving up from just east of Essex. Moving, again, at northeast at 30 miles an hour, so let's get this right. There's 30 miles an hour, and here are the arrival times and the communities listed. Into Peatone at 7:23. Manteno at 7:13. As we go down the list, can't guarantee these storms are going to hold together, but be thinking about your tornado precautions in places like Beecher at 7:38. We'll, of course, let you know if the tornado warnings are extended your way.
Are you guys seeing any power outages?
At this time. Actually, Kylie, we've got power outages on this, so let me pull that up and see if we can check on that. This map was crazy last night when the 80-mile-per-hour destructive thunderstorms moved through Chicago. Here's the power outages now. This is all from last night in Cook County. Up to the northwest, we may be getting some fresh power outages in Lake. Let me remove this banner. Up in Lake and McHenry counties, 800 without power. Hard to say if that's happening right now or if that's from the storms last night. Regardless, there are about 100,000 customers without power, according to our maps. Let's take, is this the ComEd map? Okay, do we still have that? Okay, here's the ComEd map. This is the most official source possible. Still 115,000 customers. So that's a house. That's a business. That's not just one person. That might be 250,000 people or more, depending on if that's a house of 2 or a house of 4. So huge power outages remain. A couple of my friends are still without power. You needed your air conditioner today, and a lot of people don't have it. This warm, humid air making things dangerous for folks who may be elderly or very young infants who are more susceptible to heat-related illnesses. We hope everybody's staying safe. We've also heard of some communities opening cooling centers. So take a moment to Google, or we've also got some information on CBSChicago.com where the cooling centers are located. We don't want you and your family to be unnecessarily hot if your city is actually providing some resources for you, which many towns and suburbs are. Back on this tornado warning, this is the most concerning part of the storm, which is just east of Essex, and again, it's taken a little bit of a jog toward the northeast. So now, Manteno, Peatone, these are the areas that we're watching most. And if we zoom back in on this, I'm curious if we have Gabe, guys, to chat with him in a few minutes. Let's check in on the tornado itself, though, and see how it's looking. We don't have a confirmed warning. It's not purple, it's red. So this is the possibility of a tornado, radar indicated tornado. Not super strong indications right now on our rotation detector. Certainly some rotation on the storm relative velocity, but right now we're not seeing the guarantee of a tornado on the ground in extreme northwestern Kankakee County up into extreme southwestern Will County. Still, though, we need you and your tornado precautions anywhere in this box. Again, all of this still well south of Chicago. But Kylie, you're watching the storms that are closer to Chicago and moving more directly our way.
That line that's moving on through. So zooming out and looking at our northern storms, this is that QLCS, that quasi-linear convective system. Still with this line that's forming, our main concerns will be damaging winds like what we had yesterday, as well as some hail, but we can't rule out having a little bit of rotation within this line either. So it's stretching all the way from Waukegan back towards DeKalb and then out of our viewing area, but all of this is continuing to move down towards the south and towards the east. So we're under a severe thunderstorm warning for DeKalb, Kane, Lake, and McHenry. This goes until 7:15, and for Lake as well as McHenry, we are under a flash flood warning. So this means we've experienced heavy rainfall. Some areas picked up about 2 to 4 inches of rain in such a short amount of time. So with that said, with that rainfall, you can see right here, Waukegan back into McHenry. Look at all those deep blues. That's indication of 1 to 3, possibly even pockets of 4 inches. If you ever see a roadway that is just covered with water, make sure you turn around, don't drown, find another way to get around that situation to get to your destination. But all of this heavy rainfall is going to be hitting the heart of the city of Chicago here momentarily. Before I put that track on there, I do want to talk about that flash flood warning. Again, this is for Lake County on the Illinois side, back in McHenry County. This goes until 10 p.m. And sometimes it's not the entire county, but this one is. So again, we're going to be dealing with those flash flood warnings there, flood watches elsewhere. This goes until 11 o'clock because we are just in the thick now of these strong storms that are moving on through. So here's a look at our live radar. And yes, we're still monitoring those supercells that are down towards the south across the Kankakee River Valley, but still across our northern communities, we have this line, this potent line of rain showers and thunderstorms. So all the way from Waukegan, Woodstock, even into DeKalb, all those deep reds that you see on radar, that's indication those heavy downpours. You're not going to want to be caught outside in this whatsoever. And I know across the Chicago River, there's a lot of boat tours that go on, especially because it was so warm for today. You need to heed these warnings because this line of rain shower and thunderstorm activity is coming to you next. So let's go ahead and put on this lightning tracker because notice how many lightning strikes there is. We will have to watch out for the potential for fires to get started because of some of these lightning strikes. Yesterday, we had those strong winds topple over trees, power lines. Same thing could go today, creating more power outages. I know David just showed you the map, and most of those outages are still from yesterday, but still, we could be dealing with more of that, and most likely will be as we look ahead. Okay, so let me put a storm track on this and then we will go ahead and look at that video. So I do want to put a track from Waukegan all the way back into DeKalb, Mendota. So this is moving at around 45 to 50 miles per hour. So places like DeKalb, 7:07 arrival time, 7:23 in Waukegan, Elgin, 7:49, Palatine at 8 o'clock, Wheeling at 8:16, Schaumburg at 8:37, Aurora coming in at 9:05. And unlike the cells that are down towards our south, this line is most likely going to stay together. So by the time it does hit the city of Chicago, closer to about 9:30 or so, you need to make sure that you're staying weather prepared in your safe place inside, just because this line will hold together because we have this cold front. That's that lifting mechanism. Okay, let's go ahead and take a look at that video from that tornado that rolled through. Okay, looks like we can see it out in the distance. And as David was mentioning, these areas, especially for our southern communities, there's a lot of farmland. You can see those wind turbines right there. Not a great situation whatsoever, David. Yeah, they're
generating some power today, no doubt. Those actually have emergency brakes that can be triggered if the winds get too strong. They don't want the windmill or the wind turbines spinning out, which no doubt those power companies have had to possibly trigger tonight. We're watching this really dynamic storm system. We have our storm chaser, Gabe Cox, who's been on this storm all afternoon and evening as it's tracked across our southern viewing area. Before we get to Gabe, let me just say, it looks like these storms, as they develop south of Chicago, remember I talked about the free inflow coming in from the south? If you want a tornado, you need a south wind coming into your storm unobstructed today because the air mass needs to heat up and recover from the previous storms. These storms on south of I-80 have that. That's why we've seen tornadoes. But the more storms that develop south of I-80, we don't have that free inflow. We don't have that warm, humid air coming into Chicago, coming into Elgin. This could decrease Chicago's tornado risk tonight. Yet to be determined if it holds. If these storms move out of the way and some fresh wind comes in, that might not be the case, but maybe a little silver lining for the next several hours. In the meantime, our chaser, Gabe Cox, down on the tornado near Kankakee County. Gabe, where are you right now, and what are you seeing?
Hi, David. I am just north of Bondfield on the supercell that actually appears to be reorganizing. Hold on one second. There's a tornado. I can confirm north of Bondfield, and there's rotation. I don't know if you can see this on radar. There appears to be.
Can you tell National Weather Service? Gabe, you're breaking up. Can we just get that one more time? Confirmed tornado where?
Confirmed tornado north of Bondfield.
North of Bondfield. Thank you. We're going to relay that to the National Weather Service, so this tornado warning will now be confirmed instead of just radar indicated. Tornado
Hey, David.
On the ground near Bondfield. Yeah, Gabe.
David.
Yes, go ahead.
I believe there's a secondary area of rotation forming on the storm. It seems to be redeveloping a new base here to my due east, actually. I don't know if you can see that on radar. There's the other tornado is still on the ground. I've got visual on it right now.
Yeah, what streets are you on right now?
Right now, I am on Bower Road, heading east to State Route 113.
I see exactly where you are, Gabe. You've got one possible tornado behind you to the left, another one to your right. Is that where you're seeing it, if you're heading east?
I've got a tornado to my north.
Yep.
And I've got redevelopment of a new base. Actually, right now, organizing.
Straight ahead of you to the right?
Yes, David. It's just to my northeast.
And which one is
actively?
Which one is confirmed? Sorry to interrupt you, Gabe. The one on the left or the one straight in front of you?
The one to my left is confirmed.
Okay.
I've still got a visual on it. The one directly to my east is rapidly organizing.
This is not a tornado-warned storm. We need a tornado warning on this for the storm near Bonfield. Confirmed tornado here. Let me zoom out so you can get oriented. This is extreme southern Will County, southeast of Braidwood. Hopefully the National Weather Service updates this because our storm chaser is telling us that this, right here on the map, is a confirmed tornado. And this ahead of him, closer to Manteno, is a developing tornado. What are you seeing in terms of the development in front of you? Because, Gabe, on radar, the one in front of you looks a lot more significant. Gabe, can you hear me?
Hey, David, I can hear you now.
Okay. And sorry, we're talking to Kylie as well. New tornado warning coming, you said, Kylie?
Nope, there's one right now. So keep pulling out southern portions of Kankakee and then into northwest Indiana.
Gotcha. Okay. So Gabe, stay with me if you would real quick. We've got a new tornado warning. Hold on one second. Southeast of Hopkins Park into, that's extreme southeastern Kankakee County, into north central or northwestern Newton County, Indiana. So if you're in Lake Village down to Morocco or anywhere westward toward Hopkins Park, this is a likely tornado, not a confirmed warning right now, but this looks strong on radar. The shear showing us a tornado, the storm relative velocity, I suspect, showing us some strong rotation in this as well. So a new tornado warning southeast of Kankakee and heading into Newton County in northwest Indiana. Back on this one for just a moment. Gabe Cox, I asked you a question a moment ago. I think we lost service with you since you're in a rural area. But as you look ahead toward that organizing tornado, you said, what are you seeing in terms of organization? Any funnel cloud?
Hey, David, I actually lost visual on it for a moment here. I'm trying to navigate a river crossing.
Sure.
I'll have visual, but what I did see just moments ago was a rapidly organizing wall cloud with rapidly rotating scud at the base of it.
Yeah, so I see you on the map, Gabe, and you're right here crossing the river. So you're about to, there might be a little bit of rain in your way between where you are and the actual circulation. To refresh folks at home, Gabe, our tornado chaser, said that this is a confirmed tornado just northwest of that area. Let me zoom in real quick so you can alert your friends and family in the area. This is near Manteno Road and North 7000 West Road. If these sound familiar to you, there is and I'm seeing it on radar, a confirmed tornado on the ground, according to our chaser. Now, Gabe, as you move eastward, this one is under a tornado warning. This one moving through Kankakee and up towards southern Will counties. You mentioned rapidly rotating scud clouds. Those are the kind of the low-hanging clouds that sometimes people mistake for funnels. Any signs of like a big wall cloud or anything, or a funnel?
Yeah, absolutely. There is a well-defined wall cloud above that rapidly rotating scud. So this is what we've seen today, is those rapidly rotating wall clouds, and then they very quickly develop tornadoes. So please don't take the time to try to go outside and find it. These things are dropping fast and intensifying very quickly.
Okay, so Manteno, Gabe is talking to you. This man has chased tornadoes for more than a decade. He's seen more than 100 of them, and this is a rapidly organizing, likely about to touch down tornado moving directly toward you. So in Manteno and surrounding areas, we need you in your tornado safe place right now. This is why it's so valuable to have chasers on the ground. In addition to our own crews, we are lucky to have our talented Gabe Cox, a tornado chaser by trade, chasing these storms tonight. This is an extraordinary setup, so rare that he has actually traveled across half of the country just to come here and see some tornadoes this evening and help us document them and help us keep people safe. So, Gabe, we sure appreciate that. What's your plan with this one? Are you going to wrap around the south side or just kind of keep following it on the west?
I'm going to try to wrap around to the west here. The river crossing kind of dictated the angle of approach, but I've got a good visual on it now. I'm going to cut east here, just north of the rotation, and keep an eye on it for you.
Okay, great. Gabe Cox, our tornado chaser. Check back with updates soon, and stay safe out there. We really appreciate you.
Will do. Thanks, David.
Okay. Mantino, tornado warning in effect for you. And as you heard from our chaser there, this is likely about to be a tornado on the ground. So this is not just radar indicated. We've got confirmation of a wall cloud, which is kind of like a lowering. People call it a mothership sometimes. It's like a lowering of the clouds that can look like a UFO. A smooth disk has been dropped down from the bottom of the clouds. That's low-level rotation in the storm. That's exactly what we're seeing right here, counterclockwise spin in the clouds. Sometimes this turns into a tornado, sometimes it doesn't. But with the atmosphere that we've got and with relatively unobstructed flow into this storm, this is likely about to turn into a tornado for you. Back to our other tornado warning. We don't want to forget about our friends in southeastern Kankakee County into western Newton County, Indiana. We still don't have a super strong lock in terms of low-level rotation. Let me make sure these are on so we won't. Yeah, these will alert us to any debris signatures or confirmed tornadoes by the radar. But what we do have is this shear. You've heard our chief meteorologist, Albert Ramon, talking a lot about this. This is super helpful for detecting, kind of filtering out the noise. What about all these colors? Show me where the tornado is. This is it. If there's a tornado on the ground, it's south of Hopkins Park, maybe even across the county line, out of Kankakee County, but it's right there straddling the line, and it's certainly heading into Newton County. What's the movement on this, Kylie? And then I want to toss it back to you.
It's moving northeast at 30 miles per hour.
Northeast at 30, this southeastern tornado?
Yep.
Great, so we've got to track northeast at 30, and you know, these are not the most popular, hope we haven't lost that again. These are not the most populated areas, but I know some people are affected by this. So we're going to check this out and get your towns back on the map. Kylie, let's go back over to you.
Okay, let's go ahead and put a storm track on this one to see if we can get it from our secondary weather computer. So again, it's moving at 30 miles per hour to the northeast. So here's a look at some locations. So Fair Oaks, 729. It looks like DeMonte Christian, 739. So DeMonte Christian School. Barkley at 742 and Wheatfield at 749. So again, this is not a confirmed tornado yet, but all the ingredients are there, and we are continuing to track that storm as it circulates. So again, we have these two tornado warnings. This last one that just got issued not that long ago goes until 7:45. So for those towns and locations that I just mentioned, you need to seek shelter immediately. The secondary tornado warning, that one in Kankakee County, northern portions, as well as Will County, this goes until 7:30. So we still have about 30 to 45 minutes. So if you're in Kankakee County, really just make sure that you're in your safe place. Make sure you know where to go, because we are dealing with a dangerous situation. So let's go ahead and put on our velocity so we can see how the rotation is looking. And yep, it looks like we do have this couplet that is starting to form just towards the north of Beaverville. So not so much of a populated area, unlike the other one, Mantino. And I am very familiar with this area because when we had those last storms that moved through Kankakee, I was driving up and down I-57. It's very populated. There's a lot of gas stations. There's a lot of truck stops. This is not a good place to be, especially if you are traveling. So you're going to want to pull over, get to a safe shelter immediately. Going back to radar, because I also don't want to leave our friends out up towards our north, where we still are dealing with that QLCS line. A lot of lightning being associated with this. We will really have to watch out for lightning strikes. And remember, whenever you hear thunder, you see lightning, you head indoors and you just wait out the storm. So putting on the track on this, because it will be impacting Chicagoland here pretty soon. It is moving at around 50 miles per hour. Places like Algonquin at 736, Dundee at 745, Elgin at 754, Aurora 818, Naperville at 840, O'Hare 853. So if you have friends, family, if you are planning on going to the airport, we'll have to watch out for some ground stops, ground delays. Joliet around 917, Chicago around 930, 945. That's the time frame that we're looking at. And it looks like this line is definitely going to stick together. We're mainly concerned about damaging winds along and ahead of this line. We can rule out having some rotation. And of course, we're dealing with that flash flood threat too across Lake County as well as McHenry County. That's on the Illinois side, and until we get to 10 p.m. So flash flooding playing a huge concern with this. Again, McHenry as well as Lake County until 10 p.m. Flood watches elsewhere in the dark green shaded areas. This goes until 11 p.m. So heavy rainfall is falling. More rain is expected to, so make sure you turn around, don't drown if you ever see a roadway that is submerged by water. So again, we've been already dealing with 1 to 4 inches of rainfall, and more is yet to come. We could see another about 1 to 2 inches of rainfall per hour. We're going to start to see those skies darkening closer to the Chicagoland area within the next about hour to 2. So you need to make sure that you are getting ready to get to your safe place just in case we do have a tornado warning for your area. And again, we are still under those tornado watches pretty much for every location until 9 p.m. So we still, David, have a few hours yet to go.
Yeah, that tornadic circulation strengthening in Kankakee County. We're watching a lot tonight, Kylie. Thank you for watching that line affecting many northwest of Chicago. There are 2 tornado warnings. Let me take you back out for just a moment. I know we need to get our orientation just a bit. This is well south of Chicago. Kylie was just expertly guiding us through those storms northwest of the city. What we have here in Kankakee and Newton counties, well south of the city, 2 different tornado warnings, neither of them confirmed at this moment.
You guys,
but
County is
we've
out of
got
the tornado
a
warning.
really strong circulation here southeast of Hopkins, south of Hopkins Park, moving northeastward into mainly rural sections of Newton County. But I want to direct your attention here where our tornado chaser, Gabe Cox, has been, because he told, yes, ma'am. Okay, he told us moments ago this is intensifying. This might be a tornado on the ground. This is the tiniest little warning that I've ever seen. I'd be surprised if the National Weather Service does not extend this toward Beecher and areas of northeastern Kankakee and southeastern Will County. Let's get you back to some new tornado video. This is coming in from Kankakee County. Where exactly was this again, Colleen? Reddick. This was from Reddick. Look at that. This is a massive, oh, wait. Oh, I can't tell you to zoom out, sorry. Holy moly, look at that. I was going to tell you to zoom out because I think there might have been another tornado on the right side of it. This is a strong tornado earlier. This is not live video. This is earlier in Kankakee County on the storm that we were following. This is why we need to take these warnings seriously. These are not radar indicated tornadoes. These are tornadoes on the ground. And just a moment ago in that video, you saw some debris being lofted. You can see a big cloud of dirt there on the bottom. Can we loop that again? And let's look at the right side. Gosh, that looks like a lowering to the right, maybe not another tornado. But as they zoom in on this circulation, on this tornado crossing the road, look at that. Power flashes. Those are transformers exploding, wires being ripped from the lines and the boxes. Dirt, people's houses, I hope not, but structures being destroyed. These are really, really strong tornadoes. And we first alerted you days ago that there was a huge severe weather risk and a tornado risk tonight.
Yes.
This is actually our highest tornado risk in the western suburbs and southwest of the city in 6 years, just by the chance of seeing a tornado near you, as dictated by the National Weather Service Storm Prediction Center. So we have a lot to watch on the radar. This can help us filter out the noise. 1 tornado warning I just showed you moving into northern Newton County. Get in your tornado safe place now. That one actually weakening a little bit in the latest scan. But this was the one we just saw a video of. This was earlier. That video was earlier, rather, I should say. But this tornado has been at times on the ground since southwest of LaSalle County. This is maybe a broken 60, 70 mile tornado track, and it's not done yet. If there is a tornado in this storm, it's just east of Manteno and moving northeastward. Yes, strong circulation. Kylie, what's the Weather Service doing? Are they, the tornado warning has been...
It's going to continue for southeast Kankakee as well as Newton County. The storm is near Hopkins Park.
What about
right now.
northeast Kankakee County, north Kankakee County? Say anything about that?
It looks like they are going to be canceling the tornado warning for Will County, but it will continue for Kankakee County and the Manteno area.
Well, I hope they extend this because this is heading toward Grant Park and areas northward into southern Will County. I'm seeing strong indications of a tornado here, not only on velocity, but on this shear. This is folks, probably a tornado on the ground right now. East of Manteno. This is the most concerning storm that we have right now, so let's go super tight on it. East side of Manteno, you can see actually the high-resolution mapping that this great computer we have has. East side of town, moving eastward on 9,000, where it crosses 5,000. This is a likely tornado right now that's exiting the tornado warning. So I'm not questioning the skill of the National Weather Service. They can read a radar better than I can. But this looks like this tornado warning needs to be extended to the east. And I'll tell you what, if you're out of this area near Whitaker, you see Whitaker on the map here, 7,000 East Road, North 8,000 East Road. If some of these big plots of land are yours, or families or friends, this is a radar, actually, that the Weather Service does not have. It helps us really filter out where the tornado might be. And this is a possible indication of a tornado. So they're going to extend this warning or they're not. But I think folks east of Manteno need to be in your tornado safe place at least until this passes, because we're watching some significant rotation with this. We'll go back to the velocity here just to make sure the latest scan is still showing that. It's a little finicky sometimes. There it is. Yeah, pretty strong low-level rotation on this. So we'll keep an eye on this. We'll let you know if the warning is extended. It may be out toward Beecher. So in those areas ahead of that storm, please be thinking about where to go in your tornado precautions. Underground, lowest floor, preferable. Middle of your home or structure, preferable, because that puts more walls of protection between you and that outside storm should the worst happen. And we've got the same advice for folks from Lake Village southward. Lake Village, by the way, hit hard, of course, where there was one fatality in the March 10th EF3 tornado, the same one that hit Kankakee and Aroma Park, hit Lake Village. So what we're seeing in Lake Village right now, if you're on the south side of town, you're in this geographic area where the emergency alert was triggered. You probably have sirens outside. Your cell phone probably did that loud, annoying tone. That means you're under the tornado warning. But even if you're not, you're getting hit by this storm pretty well right now. I suspect we have some hail in all this. That's good news, just dime-sized hail picked up by our radar. Let me check for debris. Hopefully we don't have that. Watch that area southeast of Hopkins Park with me. Yeah, we've sure got some strong rotation, but we don't have a defined debris ball. If we did have debris, it would be right there. Let's check one more time. Yeah, we've got a little lowering of the correlation coefficient. So this is detecting maybe a little ground circulation, maybe the beginnings of a tornado touchdown. We'll keep a close eye on that one because it does bear watching. Again, anywhere from Hopkins Park to Lake Village, southward toward mainly rural sections of Newton County, Indiana, need you in your tornado safe place right now. National Weather Service still not extending this warning east of Manteno. We'll keep you posted on that one. Let me get you back here to center because
rotation happening within that line in DeKalb County.
DeKalb County,
Yep,
okay.
so it's really close to Clare as well as Sycamore.
Yeah.
There's some rotation that is being reported within that line, so we're starting to see that line getting closer to that heat.
Yep.
That's helping destabilize it.
Yep.
You can see right there temperatures are back into those mid-70s, so along that line, that's where we're going to be watching out next for some of these spin-up tornadoes, not necessarily these huge supercells.
Exactly, yeah. No, you read my mind thinking about the temperatures, because my question was, how far northward has that hot, humid air been able to recover? And it really hasn't north of I-88, which is probably why, to this point, we have not yet seen tornado warnings north of I-88. It's in the 60s, rain-cooled air in McHenry and Waukegan. Meanwhile, down south, this is supercell air, 81 in Kankakee, 81 and really humid in Rensselaer.
Tornado warning coming for Lake County in Indiana.
Thank you so much, Kylie. Let's get up to that right now. Here's the thing. I was just about to say, and this proves it, even where it's not hot and humid for a supercell, we can still, in these lines, Kylie called it what it is, a QLCS line, we can still get strong rotation and notches in the line which spin up tornadoes. This is how we had the record tornado outbreak in our area, 32 tornadoes 2 years ago on July 15th, 2024, and this is what might be starting to happen right now. You said Lake County, Illinois?
Yep. I have it on mine if we want to go ahead and bring that up.
Let's go to hers, because I'm seeing a little bit of a weakening in the line there. What are you seeing?
Okay, so we currently have a new tornado warning. This is for Lake County in the Indiana side.
Indiana, gotcha.
Indiana side.
Thank you, okay.
So this is moving, it looks like northeast at 25 miles per hour. This is including the St. John area, and I am starting to see some funnel cloud reports near St. John and Calumet. plus 101st Street in Calumet near St. John, Indiana. So again, this goes until 8 o'clock. So this is our newest tornado warning. We are dealing with a funnel in St. John. So that funnel does not mean that it's on the ground, but we have that rotation that is circling over St. John. And you can see that right here. I'm going to zoom in on St. John. I mean, David, that is really impressive. That is a very big coupler right there. Whenever you have those reds and greens close together like that, we are dealing with some very strong winds at the surface as well as the loft. It doesn't look like we have anything debris rise, but looking at that radar, it is impressive. So when we're dealing with these lines, this is not even the main line that I've been tracking up towards the north and west. This is just another line, but you get some of those inflow notches. You get some of those little buckles in these lines, and that can create some of that spin. So again, St. John, you need to make sure that you are seeking shelter immediately. Maryville, okay, it looks like now we have that confirmed tornado, David, in St. John. So now it is on the ground. You need to make sure that you are in your safe place immediately from St. John back into Maryville. This goes until 8 o'clock. This is a populated area, especially with people moving, driving from Chicago around the lake, going to, let's say, Northwest Indiana, Michigan. It's very close to the lake, too.
Commuting
We have
home.
a lot of instability. Yeah, it's 7 o'clock here on your Thursday. So let's go ahead and take a look at that velocity, because that is just so impressive what we are seeing here on radar. Debris. Not a huge debris signature. There's just a little, but nothing.
Yeah, that could be a small tornado.
That could be a small tornado right there. Zooming in, this is very close to St. John. It looks like it's just on the other side of St. John. 41. If you are driving on 41, you need to pull off. You need to make sure that you're getting to your safe place immediately. Let's go ahead and put a storm track on this just so we can get other communities aware that you need to be prepared. You need to be moving into your safe place. So places including Independence Hill, 726, Maryville at 729, Lake Station at 740, and it looks like Ogden Dunes, 746. Very populated areas. There's a lot of gas stations around here. There's some stores. We have like a Walmart around that St. John's area. So you need to make sure that you are getting indoors, getting to the lowest level possible in an interior room. A bathroom, a closet is a great place to be. Try to get away from windows. And you also want to put on some shoes just in case there is some debris. And if you have a helmet, that is always great advice as well. So, David, this is just another tornado warning that we're dealing with, and you're keeping an eye on a few others.
Yeah, and that one is radar confirmed. So you told us the reports of the funnel clouds from two different spotters, emergency managers. They've radar confirmed it with the debris signature that you were just showing us. So that was that little debris ball over in St. John, southeast of Chicago.
It's still there.
Northwest Indiana. That's the confirmed tornado warning that we'll get back to in just a minute. Let's cut real quick to the mobile weather lab. Drake, if you could help me out with that. We're in Yorkville looking northward at this line, which is not currently tornado warned, but does have severe storms along it. And we've seen some signs of rotation. This is from our mobile weather lab in Yorkville looking northward and northwestward. You can see some dark clouds there on the horizon as the storm system approaches there. Now, let's get back to the more important, the more pressing warnings. These are all kind of straddling Chicago, one to the northwest coming, others to the southeast moving away, but these are all really, really impressive storms. Oh, good update here. Tornado warning canceled for Lake Village and Newton County, Indiana. Kankakee, Newton counties, drop them from the banner. We no longer have Kankakee or Newton County warnings. Thank you guys in the control room. Still a good storm rocking through Lake Village right now. Here's the storm that Kylie was just looking at, and look at this. We've got a radar confirmation of the tornado, which means that maybe somebody didn't see it touch the ground yet, or we haven't had spotter verification, but these radars are so sophisticated that what Kylie was just showing you, let's go back out here, this is a debris ball.
More defined. It's way more defined now than what we were looking at.
Let me put you on a little tiny loop, just the last 15 minutes. There it is. And you can see these things kind of cycle. We may have actually briefly had two tornado touchdowns side by side, rotating around each other in kind of a Fujiwara effect. Right now, though, this is a tornado on the ground in St. John. This is radar confirmed We've had spotters.
Southeast Will is going to be under a new tornado warning.
Southeast what?
Will County.
Will. Okay, thank you. We'll get to you with that in a second. St. John, right now you need to take cover. This is a tornado warning for a confirmed tornado that is lofting debris right toward the middle of town. And Kylie said it, these are populated areas. These are all neighborhoods. We'll get to that new tornado warning in just a minute. All neighborhoods, Lake Hills, St. John. If you're anywhere near Parrish and 89th, 85th and Drake and 89th. If any of these are near you, if you have friends or family in that area, 93rd Ave, east of St. John, gosh, look at that. That's a tornado on the ground approaching Klein Ave. If you are anywhere near Klein Ave, east of Lake Hills, or on North Lincoln Highway toward Burr Street, Whitcomb Street, anywhere on the east side of this, you need to take your tornado precautions right now. This is a radar-confirmed tornado near Schererville on the north side of St. John and moving away from St. John, northeast side of St. John. Really some powerful stuff with these storms tonight. This is why the tornado warning has now gone confirmed. The area is in its path. Kylie was just tracking them out for you, but anywhere northeast of this storm, Merrillville, Ross, Hobart, and anywhere in between, we need to take our tornado precautions right now because these storms are quickly developing, quickly intensifying, and they're also producing confirmed tornadoes right now. So tornado warnings right now for Will, Lake counties, and I believe that's it. Yeah, two different warnings in Lake County, Indiana, one for just a little sliver of Will. So let's get you back here on the more typical radar presentation so we can make sense of all of this noise on the radar. There are two supercell thunderstorms, one no longer tornado warned over Lake Village, but, well, I should say there are three. Two that are just north of there. So Cedar Lake, Lowell, Indiana, these are areas that are under a tornado warning for this storm, and this is a new tornado warning from the same storm that we've been watching. This is the same one that was in LaSalle County earlier. It's produced a tornado on and off. Our chasers have been watching it. Let's actually get Gabe on the phone, guys, if we can, in the next couple of minutes, and see what he's seeing with this. Right over Beecher, if we do have a tornado, this one, not a confirmed warning at this time, but gosh, that's a strong signature of a likely tornado. Let's query some of these pixels, and the radar can actually tell us how hard these winds are blowing. About 77 miles an hour of gate-to-gate shear, 77 miles an hour of rotational velocity. That would be equivalent to an EF0 or EF1 tornado if there is one on the ground. Even though that's at the bottom of the scale, 0 to 5, that can still down or uproot trees, mess up the shingles and siding on your house, cause power outages, injure or worse somebody who is outside. So this is a tornado warning that we need to take seriously, even if you're not seeing, you know, an intense, violent tornado. Let's check the shear real quick, and then we'll get back to Kylie. Yeah, we're seeing really strong indications, I should say, of a tornado just east of Beecher heading towards Cedar Lake. Our Gabe Cox, Kylie, hold one second. Gabe Cox on this tornado-warned storm, I believe. Gabe, you've been chasing these tornadoes all afternoon. Are you close to Beecher now, heading east?
David, I'm just north of Grant Park.
Okay.
Just passing north of town. The storm I'm focused on now is to my north.
Yep, same.
There was a brief tornado that was unwarned and has since lifted. I don't have a great visual now from my position, but there's increasing rotation. And on the backside of the storm, at least, there's a significant wall cloud. I just got to get around these rain curtains to give you another visual.
Okay, please do so safely. We know you're trained in this, and you will. We appreciate your on-the-ground perspective because, Gabe, from where we're standing, and there's a confirmed tornado, by the way, just northeast of there, up toward the lake a little bit. But from where we're standing, this new tornado warning, this looks pretty mean on radar as well. Gabe, can you hear me?
Was ramping up. There was a bit of a storm merger, and I think that actually enhanced the rotation in the storm. And I believe that's when I saw the brief tornado earlier.
And that was a brief tornado on this storm you're watching now near Beecher?
Yes, that's correct. But just before it went tornado warned, there was a cone tornado on the ground.
Yeah, actually, I can see that on the radar loop right there southwest of Beecher. There was a tight couplet right there. And Gabe, you said it has lifted for now, or rain is in your way, so you can't tell?
The previous tornado lifted, and now the base has reformed a little further to the north. The rain is currently blocking my view. but I'm trying to reposition to the south and then blast north to get a look in the hook.
Okay, Gabe, thanks so much. Give us a call if you can. When you see something, be safe out there. Gabe Cox, our tornado chaser, live near Beecher on what could be a tornado on the ground. Let's get back to the one that is on the ground. It's near St. John and moving northeastward very quickly. Let's get back to the velocity on the freeze frame. Look at this. Over the last, I believe this is about a 30-minute loop, we've seen 100% a tornado on the ground move through St. John and just southeast of Schererville up toward Merrillville. Now, this is south of Ross. If there is still a tornado, which we're seeing pretty strong signs that there could be, it's on your doorstep on Ross, especially on the south side of Ross. Get in your tornado safe place right now. We're still seeing strong indications that this is a likely tornado on the ground just south of Ross. Let's check out this shear, which can really help us pinpoint. Yeah, there it is. I told you that the reds mean bad news. You can see that means strong wind shear, winds blowing different directions in a close proximity, but especially when these are curved. If we see like a little S shape or kind of a horseshoe, this, from our sophisticated radar software, is a classic indication of a tornado on the ground, and that's why we still have this purple warning, which is a confirmed tornado warning for northern Lake County. Let me check back in on Will. Yeah, still Will, Lake counties are the only ones under warnings. Kylie, we're watching a lot tonight. Yes, Colleen? Let's get that to Kylie. Kylie, we got some new video coming out of Streeter.
All right, so that was the tornado that we dealt
Wow.
with. Whoa, look at those ominous clouds. I mean, you could just see how much rain was associated with this, and those are large tornadoes.
That's a violent,
goodness.
That's EF 3, 4.
It's going to be interesting when the National Weather Service goes out and surveys for the next few days to actually see what these are rated and to see how many we actually had, because a lot of these tornadoes were cycling up, cycling down, but it looks like this one was definitely on the ground for a long time. It'll be interesting to see how many miles, and I'm sure that those outdoor warning sirens were going off. Wow, you could also see, if you look closely, that debris.
Yeah, being
that's
lofted.
flying.
Look at the rotation up the funnel. Look, debris really high. You see that?
Oh yeah.
There's pieces of debris a couple thousand feet up, and look at that.
Yep, you can see that debris flying.
Gosh.
Oh my
because
goodness.
a tornado is not only spinning, it's rising, so it's sucking all this stuff up into the clouds. Kylie, this is really not good. I hope we make it through today without any injuries.
That would be the best news ever, because this is still a very ongoing, a very serious situation. We are just in the thick of it now. We're going to continue to monitor these showers, thunderstorms, possible tornadoes still to develop over the course of the next few hours. So this is just one of those tornadoes that we received earlier today, and we're currently dealing with still 2 tornado warnings that are currently in Lake County on the Indiana side, and for very small sections of Will County, that is. So here's a look at that latest radar loop. We're going to continue to see this tornado impact Cedar Lake at 7:37. And again, this is not a confirmed tornado. It's just a possibility that all the ingredients are there. We're seeing some spin in the atmosphere. Crown Point at 7:45, Winfield at 7:51, 7:57 for Boone, Valparaiso at 8:09, New Durham at 8:24. So let's go ahead and reset this. We'll get away from those storm tracks. So again, this is for very southeastern portions of Will County back into Lake County in Indiana. And then we also have that observed one that's just up towards the north, very close to Gary. This is not including St. John anymore, as it continues to cycle, moving off towards the east. Merrillville, you're still included in that. Ogden Dunes, you're very close to that. These are highly populated areas, especially with the I-80 corridor, I-65. So again, we still have these 2 tornado warnings, but I do want to look back up towards the north and west. So McHenry, Waukegan, all the way stretching back into portions of northern LaSalle County. So this is still that cold front. This is still that line that we're monitoring. Lots lot of lightning being reported with this as well. So all the way from McHenry, DeKalb, Ottawa, these are a lot of lightning strikes. You need to head indoors immediately. You do not want to be outside in this whatsoever. This has been moving pretty slow. It's been moving at around 35 to 40 miles per hour. So it's really not going to be hitting the Chicagoland area until we get to about 9:30 or so. So this line up towards our north has been moving slow. And the bigger concern that we have, yes, with still a possibility of some rotation, it will be the flooding. Flash flooding already causing some of those alerts happening in Lake County, back on the Illinois side, as well as McHenry County. So we're under those flash flood warnings. Those go until 10 p.m. We're also under some flood watches, too, for outlying areas until 11 o'clock. So these lines are continuing to train over the same areas, just dumping heavy rainfall. Some areas already picked up over 4 inches of rainfall, along with the already saturated ground, the strong winds. We'll have to watch out for more power outages from toppled trees, as well as power lines. David?
Kylie, we have Scott Lasker on the phone, a different tornado chaser than the one we've been speaking with. Scott just took that terrifying tornado video that you just saw on our air and was also apparently involved in a rescue. Scott, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. How are you?
Doing well. Thank you for your work today, keeping people safe. Tell me about this tornado. We're looking at the video, absolutely violent looking, and tell us about the rescue. What happened?
Yeah, I am a storm chaser slash video journalist, and I was able to get pretty close to this tornado. I would estimate it at least an EF2, in my opinion. It was very dramatic looking. I was just hoping that it was just over fields instead of any populated areas, but that was not the case. And after I was done filming the actual tornado, I wound up in South Streeter, just videotaping some of the damage, and a lady maybe about 100 yards away started screaming for help. And I'm like, and I ran over there, and she goes, her husband is stuck underneath the rubble in their leveled house. So I gave her the camera, and I'm like, oh my God, and I tried to help lift a heavy door off the man's leg.
Oh my
God. And then gave him a little comfort, and then the police showed up, and they were able to complete the rescue. So yeah, very crazy stuff.
And there were 2 people there. We're seeing the video of the gentleman being pulled out of the rubble there.
There was one gentleman that was trapped, and
just one. Okay.
His wife was okay, fortunately.
I'm so glad they were both okay. People don't realize, they think storm chasers sometimes are just out there partying, crazy yahoos, having fun, but you guys see horrible things sometimes. You are oftentimes the first people on the scene. Did you talk to that man at all?
I did, but I wasn't going to get into a conversation. I was feeling bad for his, state of being, and it looks like he's going to be okay, but I did see a lot of blood, and I think he definitely did suffer some broken limbs. Yeah, so it's just an awful thing to see.
Scott, well, we appreciate your work saving that couple and getting us some visuals of these terrifying tornadoes. Scott Lasker, a storm chaser, thank you for your work tonight.
Thanks kindly.
Let's get back now to a confirmed tornado that's still on the ground. This is all southeast of Chicago to get you oriented. Some storms approaching from the northwest. None of those yet tornado warned at this time. But the confirmed tornado that we have is right here approaching Hobart, New Chicago. These are areas where we need to be in our tornado safe place right now. Places like Highland, behind this tornado where the tornado was, even Ross in a minute. You can come out of your tornado safe place as the worst of this circulation has passed. But the National Weather Service just confirming, look at this, we still have a tornado on the ground.
About to pass I-65, and that's a very busy interstate.
Especially during rush hour.
Exactly, at this time.
You mentioned it, people work in Chicago, get off at 5 or 6, head out, you've been slowed down by the storms. This is a packed roadway on weekday evenings, on really any time of the year. This is a tornado. We've got video of it from St. John. This is the one I'm just showing you right now.
Whoa.
This is in St. John, Indiana.
Massive.
Moments ago from Julie Papas. You can see huge low-level rotation in those clouds up in the sky. The trees appear to be obscuring the actual part of the tornado that was touching the ground, if it was at this point. But seeing low-level rotation on that scale, this kind of a wall cloud lowering from the cloud base. Remember I told you it's like a rotating disc that has dropped down from the cloud. This is really serious stuff that we're seeing. Thank you guys for that video. Keep alerting me as we get new ones. And now we've got it, a TDS, tornadic debris signature, from New Chicago down to Merrillville. This is all east of Chicago and moving away from the city, but in these areas of northeastern Lake County, Indiana, just southeast of Gary, you need to be in your tornado safe place.
There's going to be another tornado
right
warning
now
for Porter County. They're going to extend that one
Great.
into Porter County.
So let's look straight down into this. This is where the radar is picking up tornadic debris, and if we look at the debris signature, there's no doubt it's right there. Yeah, so we've got a tornado on the ground just west of Hobart and southwest of New Chicago. If I put this on a miniature loop here, just for 15 minutes, if it was an hour, you know, it would be way off the screen, but you can actually see that redeveloping. The tornado was on the ground closer to the Illinois state line. It lifted, and now it's redeveloped. And we've got a tornado on the ground moving toward Hobart right now. This is debris that's being lofted. Let me just turn this off for a moment so you can see the crossroads. Turn off the tornadic debris.
Yeah.
Yeah, huge. Right now, this is a tornado on the ground crossing I-65, where there are countless truckers, commuters, normal folks just trying to get where they're going, and the interstate, especially one that has been clogged by storm-slowed traffic, is an absolute nightmare place for where you want to be. It only takes about a 95-mile-per-hour wind blowing the right way to loft a car or to move a car, even with people in it. So if you have a high-profile vehicle like an 18-wheeler on the interstate, with what kind of winds are lofting this kind of debris, there will be overturned trucks, I fear. There may be cars that have been tossed off the road, I fear. I hope I'm wrong, but this is a tornado on the ground crossing a really busy interstate just southeast of Chicago. Let me check out the reflectivity here. There's the debris detector scanning a new one. Tornado on the ground right now. Let me orient you upward a little bit. From 49th Ave out toward 4th Place. And if we zoom out just a little bit, you can see South DeKalb Road, South Wisconsin Street. There's Hobart. This is all moving right towards you in Hobart. Right? We told you moments ago to get in your tornado safe place. Do it right now. Let me pull up the reminders. If you are in a structure that has a basement, of course that's ideal. Maybe if you have a duplex or something, or a neighbor that doesn't have a basement, give them a call, knock on their door, say, hey, come down to the basement right now because we need you underground. With the kind of videos that Scott Lasker, the storm chaser, just showed us, and the rescue that you just saw, that was someone who was not underground, I would venture to say, because if they were underground, the debris likely would not have piled on them like you saw. If you're above ground in a tornado like this, strong or violent, EF2, 3, 4, 5, heaven forbid, this can level homes. So that's why the basement or underground storm shelter is the best place to be. If that's not an option for you, not all is lost. It's okay. An interior-most room in your house. On our picture here, you can see it's a bathroom that has several walls of protection, no outside windows. This will keep you safe from most tornadoes that we see around here. Tonight, we're just seeing some really strong ones that do have the capability of damaging a little bit more than we typically see. So to get you oriented, this is in northwest Indiana in Lake County, a confirmed tornado ongoing, moving into Hobart. The National Weather Service confirming this debris signature continues exactly where we're seeing it, and a possible debris signature just southeast of Cedar Lake on the central Lake County, Indiana tornado warning. Kylie, lots to watch tonight. We've also got some storms in other parts of the viewing area.
Exactly. So I do want to focus on two southern portions of Lake County. So this is a smaller polygon, but this is near Schneider. So it's not a hugely populated area, but Schneider, you can see that rotation. We have those reds and greens together, putting a look at radar. Again, you can see a little bit of that bowing, a little bit of that hook pushing through. As I turn on the debris signature, I'm not seeing a good debris with this whatsoever. This is not a confirmed tornado, but this is something that the National Weather Service is watching. Schneider, you're under that tornado warning as this cell continues to move to the northeast at about 45 miles per hour. So putting a storm track on this, other locations, including range line at 7:49 is going to be impacting you. Hebron Elementary School around 8 o'clock, Boone at 7:59. So we are going to be seeing this impacting multiple communities within the next few minutes to potentially half an hour to an hour or so. So going back to look at the radar, because again, we have a few tornado warnings that we're monitoring. That was for southern Lake County. So for those just now tuning in, we're going to be focusing in right now on northwest Indiana. That's where we do have some of these active tornado warnings. So again, that's southern portions of Lake County. There's also another polygon that is including Eagle Creek back into Winfield, Cedar Lake. You're included in that as well. This is right along I-65, a very busy intersection, and not during a great time either, especially with it being 7:40 here on your Thursday evening. And again, that confirmed tornado up towards our north. Now this tornado warning is including northern sections of Porter County. So places including Maryville, back into Westchester, even Valparaiso. You need to make sure that you are heeding these warnings, that you are getting to your safe place immediately. We are dealing with heavy rainfall, a lot of cloud ground lightning with this, some strong winds, and yes, that rotation as well. So putting on that velocity signature, and it looks like we do just have a new tornado warning, which we'll get you to in just a moment. But yeah, so this one's for Porter County. So yeah, Lake Station, that is where that rotation is currently at. Now confirmation if it's currently on the ground or not. But again, this is something that we are monitoring. And it looks like for southern portions of, looks like Newton and Jasper counties, that is that new tornado warning. So I do want to click that. This one will go until 8:45. So again, this is southern portions of Newton and Jasper counties. So as we look ahead at the movement is moving east at 60 miles per hour. I'm going to pan out a little bit and just put it on the radar so we can kind of see where we are looking at some of the inflow notches, a little bit of that rotation. So it is definitely these two cells. So we have numerous tornado warnings out right now. Just putting on the radar, putting a few storm tracks on it so you can see your location. This is moving up towards the northeast as well. So places like Oak Grove, 846, Wolcott at 913, Burnettsville, 943. So this is a very active situation involving now in northwest Indiana.
Yep.
And we're going to continue to monitor that line that is still up towards our north. It's coming closer to the Chicagoland area, but it won't be here until another about at least 30 minutes or so because it's so slow moving.
And you know what? It's not that strong, Kylie, because look at the radar to the south. All of those storms are stealing the inflow. We talked about that line needs unobstructed warm air flowing in from the south, and it doesn't have it. This could be very good news for Chicago in terms of our tornado.
That southern one is now observed.
And damaging winds.
So go to that one.
The southern storm?
Yep, southern. Southern Lake
Lord,
County. So we now have a new observed one.
Wow. Okay. So southeast of Lowell. Look at this on the radar. And you know what? We've got our tornado chaser Gabe Cox on the phone. He's got his eyes on a tornado. I'm not sure if it's this one near Lowell and Schneider or if it's this one. We've got two tornadoes on the ground. Gabe, can you hear me? What are you seeing and where?
Hi, David. Yes, I am near the Schneider storm. I'm northwest of Shelby. I do see rapid rotation in the clouds. I cannot confirm ground circulation, though. I have a very clear visual of the base of the storm. It doesn't seem to be on the ground from my perspective, but there's rapid rotation in the clouds. This could happen any minute.
We've got really strong markers, Gabe, of a storm relative velocity couplet. We've got our shear markers blowing up. Let me actually turn back on our low-level locks and our tornadic debris signature just to make sure. Gabe Cox, our tornado chaser, on this confirmed tornado warning in southern Lake County, Indiana, well southeast of Chicago, not coming to the city. But Gabe, can't see it right now, you said, but you're following this. How does... Gabe, I am curious. We've had, sorry to interrupt, we've had a tornado just north of you cross Interstate 65. I understand you're not quite to the interstate yet, if I understand correctly where you are, but what is the traffic like now that you've seen? Have you seen any traffic backups, any commuters getting stopped by these storms?
David, I've mainly stayed on the back roads to avoid any traffic issues.
Yeah.
I do have a visual on the storm again. from what I can see, there is still rotation in the clouds. I can confirm that. I do not see any debris on the ground, but this is very close to producing.
So I've got a little bit of a debris signature there east of Schneider. We're talking, for folks in that area, this is just west of the interstate now, Gabe. West of 65, Mississippi Street and 217th, Harrison Street and 205th Ave. If any of these are in your area or friends or family there, we have a possible tornado indicated by all these things we're looking at on radar that our tornado chaser, Gabe Cox, says could be intensifying. This warning is still confirmed, Gabe. I'm glad you've been able to keep up with these storms because they are moving toward the east and northeast. And, you know, from what you've seen, you said you've seen storms like this today in our area kind of lift and then touch back down, right? These tornadoes, even if they dissipate for a second, can still redevelop.
Yes, absolutely. These supercells have been cyclic, meaning they've been producing multiple tornadoes as they go. Some of them significant. We've seen at least a half-mile wide to possibly a mile-wide tornado at one point, and they drop fast. These storms have ramped up in a hurry. This may be, so this, if you're seeing debris ball or debris on radar, it may be that this is not fully condensed, and it may be on the ground without any of the condensation. So it's important for viewers to know you may not see it, but it could be on the ground.
That's a good point, Gabe. And this is the track of that possible tornado heading toward Hebron at 7:59. These are some areas that were just threatened by a different tornado that has now crossed that area. La Crosse also under the gun at 8:25. What Gabe is saying is that even if you don't see that classic funnel descending from the cloud and hitting the ground, that does not mean that there's not a tornado on the ground. Sometimes you can get a little funnel cloud, and then there's a gap underneath. It looks like there's no tornado on the ground, but if you look at the ground, there's dirt swirling around. That just means that the condensation funnel, as we call it, has not reached the ground, but there is still a tornado on the ground and a circulation. It's just not visible, right? So, Gabe, the sun is, gosh, I've been in here with closed windows for too long. Setting soon, 30, 45 minutes from now. These tornadoes will not totally be out of our area. What's your advice for people, having seen hundreds of tornadoes before, as the sun goes down and these storms continue?
Continue to monitor them. Make sure you guys have ways to receive alerts, either through your phone or just keep tuned to you guys. These storms have packed a punch. They mean business. And don't let your guard down.
Great. Gabe Cox, thank you so much for your work tonight. As always, please stay safe. This possible tornado on the ground heading directly toward Hebron. We'll check back in with you again. Gabe Cox, our tornado chaser, thank you for your work this evening.
You bet, David.
Okay, buddy. So latest scans on that one, southwest of Hebron, looking more impressive. This could be a tornado on the ground. You can see the rotation. You can see that it is still a confirmed warning. And if we head north into Porter County, here we go. This one is looking a little less ominous now for Portage, but still be in your tornado safe place. Chesterton, north side of Valpo, just west of Westville. This is northern Porter County, close to the lake. People sometimes think that tornadoes won't hit near the lake because of the cooler lake waters. That's really not always true. Sometimes the atmosphere up above or the winds blowing in from inland areas down south just don't care. There's enough dynamics in the atmosphere, there's enough heat and humidity around to still create a tornado, as we saw, it appears, near New Chicago. Let's go to the mobile weather lab on a different part of these storms. This is in Yorkville. Yorkville, northwest suburbs, far west suburbs. We've got storms rocking the area. Our crew has sought shelter wisely in a sturdy building. Their car still has the camera on, pointed out of the hood. And we have strong thunderstorms, severe thunderstorms in some areas, moving toward Chicago from the northwest. But the good news here is you don't see a tornado. You don't see a funnel cloud. And that brings me back to my previous point. Let's go back to the radar here for a moment, because this really could be the story of the night. The southern discrete storms that we've seen developing south and east of Chicago, stealing the tornado potential from the line advancing in from the northwest. Let's check in on Weather 1, if we can, when you guys are, I know you guys are busy back there in the control room. As these tornado warnings continue in northwest Indiana, what we were just looking at there was the storms that are rolling into Chicago from the northwest. And here's what I'm talking about. Remember, we had the morning rain, which left us at 70 degrees. It was kind of cool out this afternoon. The atmosphere had a short time to recharge, but it depended on two things: the sun, which was out for a little bit, and a southwest wind to pump the heat and humidity back in. Instead of this line coming in northwest of Chicago, and as the models admittedly indicated, getting more and more intense, having multiple tornadoes and destructive winds like we had last night, instead of that, we saw something less common, which is discrete storm development in the warm sector out ahead of it that steals the power from that line. So if you imagine a south wind blowing into these storms, how can the south wind get to our mobile weather lab in Yorkville when it's being taken up by this massive bow echo, which, by the way, what are these, destructive thunderstorm warnings rolling toward Rensselaer? These are significant thunderstorm winds on a huge bow echo. This has the makings of what could be a derecho, a 240-mile-plus line of wind damage should this complex maintain itself. It hasn't developed that long ago, but we've got flooding rains down south toward Decatur. The bottom line is we don't have clear inflow into those Chicago storms, and that might be a saving grace for Chicago. With that said, here's our mobile weather lab. We just looked at them in Yorkville, and there they are. They're getting pounded by tons of cloud-to-ground lightning. You can actually see their live location on our maps, and it's still, of course, because they're not driving. They have taken shelter, as we advised them to, west of Oswego. So these storms, northwest of Chicago, these, aren't even severe warned, right, Kylie? These don't even have severe thunderstorm warnings on them actively, and the reason is what I said. These southern storms are stealing the energy. So big storms rolling into Chicago. Can't rule out something bad happening, but a little bit of good news for now. Now, east of Chicago, not the case. Gabe Cox, our storm chaser who traveled halfway across the country to see this extraordinary severe weather setup and to help keep people safe. Gabe, what do you see right now?
David, I've got a developing tornado directly in front of me. I am on that same cell. I'm looking due east at the storm. Rapid rotation in the wall cloud. We've got a lowering now. We've got a funnel. It's we have active tornado genesis occurring right in front of me.
Have you crossed over the interstate yet, Gabe, over 65?
I have not.
Okay, so this tornado or forming tornado has. So Gabe is staying behind the tornado wisely. Of course, we don't want our chasers to intersect the tornado, but watching this tornado develop. And Gabe, what exactly are you seeing when you're saying that a tornado is undergoing tornado genesis or it's developing? What do you see out there?
David, I have a rapidly developing cone funnel. I cannot confirm the ground circulation right now. I have a line of trees in front of me, but for all intents and purposes, this thing is on the ground. It's very strong rotation in the storm itself. I'm going to get past these trees here. The funnel is actively reaching towards the ground right now.
Yep. Just got word from another spotter in the area, Gabe. Wall cloud in DeMott, which is the same storm you're on, dropping a funnel 10 miles north of DeMott. So, yeah, this is the same storm. We've got multiple reports now from you and others that it's dropping a funnel. And we're looking at it on radar, Gabe. Really strong indications around Union Street and Stone Road. These are folks near Range Line and heading up the road toward the northeast from there across 231. Tornado precautions right now. Gabe, have you...
David.
Yeah, go ahead.
This is spinning very rapidly. This could put down a strong... It's on the ground. Tornado on the ground.
Okay,
tornado on the ground.
Let's make sure the Weather Service is aware. Kylie, just north of DeMott. Tornado on the ground from our storm spotter. Tornado on the ground north of DeMott. So this confirmed warning that you see here, which does mean a tornado has been at least periodically on the ground, will be extended across 231. So folks in the path of this storm, just on the south side of Hebron and into Hebron, you might be under this warning here momentarily. This is your first alert that folks, especially south, let's watch the movement. Yeah, especially south of Hebron. I think the town may be spared. South of Hebron itself under the tornado warning. So we advise you to take your tornado precautions as well. This is not a confirmed warning, but it will likely go purple in a second when they get our storm chasers' word. Gabe, this latest radar scan, let me pixel query because this is really quite frightening. Some of these pixels showing 81 miles per hour inbound, 63 miles per hour outbound. This could be an EF3 or stronger.
David, I can confirm it is a strong tornado. I'm not going to wager to guess what strength, but what I've seen today, this is on par with the significant tornadoes. This is tornado number 7 or tornado number 8 of the day for me. Multi-vortex at the base now, so this is a powerful tornado in progress.
You don't have a way to live broadcast this video, do you, Gabe?
I do not.
Okay, all good. You're staying safe, we know. As you follow this, let us know if you see any damage in its wake. We were talking to a different tornado chaser about 15 minutes ago named Scott, who actually observed some damage and took part in a rescue. Some folks were buried under the rubble of their own home near Streeter from these same storms. So we hope you don't come across something similar. Are those honking horns that I hear? What's it like out there?
Sorry, Dave, there's another chaser that slammed on his brakes. We're all good here, but this tornado is still in progress. I have multi-vortex still on the ground. Quarter-mile wide tornado. Sorry, 8-mile wide tornado.
8th-mile wide.
It seems to be strengthening. It seems to be strengthening, actually.
So this would be right over U.S. Highway 231 and where it intersects with East 181st Ave, Union Street, and also 181st Ave. This, right now what we're looking at, let me get you oriented briefly, is well southeast of Chicago. And now we've got a tornado warning on the northwest suburbs. Gabe, keep us posted on that. Please stay safe. We've got a tornado warning that we got to get to in Chicagoland. Kylie, go ahead.
Yeah, so come to me. We have that new tornado warning. This is for sections of Cook County as well as northern DuPage County. This goes until 8:30. Schaumburg, you are included in this. So Wayne, Bartlett, Bloomingdale, Roselle, Elk Grove, you're not included in it yet, but you need to make sure that you are being weather prepared and get to your safe place immediately. So this is a non-confirmed tornado, but again, it's a tornado warning. We have all the ingredients there for a tornado to drop here very significantly. So here's a look at the radar. Heavy rainfall. Oh, we just turned to an observed one now. Confirmed tornado. All right. So this is again for northern Cook County as well as DuPage County. Let's get you in with the velocity so we can see where the rotation is currently at.
And I'm looking at chat in the past 2-3 minutes.
Bartlett. Yeah.
They haven't been talking about a confirmation. Do you know if that's that's radar confirmed. Debris signature between Wayne and Bartlett.
Okay.
Radar confirmed.
So we have a radar confirmed Wayne and Bartlett. You can see right where these reds and greens currently are at. So if you are in Bartlett, if you're in Hanover Park, you need to seek shelter immediately. Let's go ahead and get a quick storm track on it. So this is moving east at 35 miles per hour. So let's go ahead and take a look at Bartlett, 35 miles per hour. That is moving, we'll probably have to scan out a little bit. Places including Chicago at around 8:11, Schaumburg Regional, Schaumburg around 8:11, Roselle at 8:15, Elk Grove Village at 8:32, Mystic Waters at 8:46. So now, David, we're talking about the very populated area. These are not those discrete cells. This is all along that line. So let me clear this. And so let's pan out a little bit so you can see where that one tornado warning currently is at. That is again for northern Cook County. Schaumburg, you're included in that. Also for sections of DuPage County. So within this line, this is what we've been talking about for the past few days. This line has the potential for a little bit of rotation. Yes, the main concern is still going to be destructive winds over 80 miles per hour, kind of similar to what we had yesterday. But now we have that elevated and that increased tornado threat, and that line extends all the way back into Aurora and even into Kendall County too. Kendall County, we haven't talked much about you. Everyone needs to be prepared now, including those who are in the city of Chicago, because this is going to be impacting you in the matter of about a half an hour or so. It's really not going to be that long until we do have this line moving on through. Again, another storm track with this whole line moving through at about 35 miles per hour. O'Hare at 8:13, so crews, we're going to have to watch out for any ground stops, ground delays. Evanston at 8:15, Joliet at 8:21, Chicago at 9:02, Rate Field at 9:07. And speaking of Rate Field, the Sox game was delayed. We will have to see if they end up canceling that and just rescheduling. Of course, we'll keep you updated. Places like Hammond at 9:41. So Okay, so White Sox is postponed until August 20th.
Wow.
Wow, so that's a ways out. But this is just how serious that these storms are. So again, we have that latest tornado warning for Cook County, portions of Cook County, as well as DuPage County, and then moving through northwest Indiana, where we do have multiple counties under those, David, tornado warnings,
Yeah,
too.
I want to spend some time in Indiana because we've got new reports of what our chaser was telling us. Hebron, Indiana, a confirmed tornado on the ground. This is with the cell southeast of Chicago, not the one Kylie was just tracking for us. But look at this. This is what we were just tracking for you. I'll turn off the lightning, and now we've got the tornado debris signature, that gray cone showing up. This is as serious as it gets. This is exactly what our chaser was just confirming. If we still have Gabe on the phone, let me know if he's seen anything wild. This is the tornado on the ground in Hebron, crossing over 231 and moving east-northeastward from there. This is not just, a typical tornado warning, if there is such a thing, but this is a confirmed tornado on the ground. People near and east of Hebron need to be in their tornado-safe place right now. We also have, are these tornado warnings down south in Rensselaer?
Yeah. So we've had those for a while.
Yeah.
I was watching those two little pockets.
Right.
I think it's more so for that strong gust of wind that's going to be coming our way.
Yeah.
Interesting that they put a tornado warning on it, but still with the way that these have been recycling, it's better to be safe than sorry.
Sure. Do you mind dropping that banner in the control room for just 1 second? Yeah, tornado warning for Newton and Jasper, southern side until 8:45. Thank you, guys. Let's go in on this because even on these bowing lines of basically strong thunderstorm wind gusts, which is just what Chicago saw last night, not tornadic, you can get these little rotations, and this is actually the most common way that we see tornadoes in Chicagoland. It's these. Kylie was telling you earlier they can be called QLCS spin-ups or quasi-linear convective system. It's a line of thunderstorms that has these little notches in it. That's why it's called quasi-linear, because it's not a perfect line. And this is how we get tornadoes. So this is a possible tornado in Kentland, a possible tornado north of there, west of Brook, another possible tornado just west of Morocco. So anybody in this tornado warning, which is a broad geographic area, needs to take these tornado warnings seriously and seek shelter right now. Let's track out the front line of that storm just for our viewing area. And this is moving east, I suspect, at much faster than 40 now that it's kind of outflow dominant. So here are the arrival times of the places that will be affected by this storm south of the confirmed tornado in Lake and Porter counties. Brook, 8:04, just showed you on the map. Hanging Grove, 8:28. Francisville at 8:36. These spots down the line. Hopefully the storm loses some steam, but that's certainly not a promise, as these storms have not been wont to do so far. Up toward the lake, let's check in on our friends here, closer to Chesterton. We still have a confirmed tornado warning in Chesterton and Portage, Town of Pines, up toward just west of Michigan City. Stay in your tornado safe place right now. What I'm seeing on the radar is not as concerning as, well, I take it back. We have some indications of a possible tornado here east of Chesterton, near Town of Pines. This is all moving toward the east and northeast, so clearing out of Chesterton in about 5 to 10 minutes. You can see that possible tornado indicated by our shear markers here near and south of Town of Pines. But south of there, this is where we're super concerned right now for a tornado on the ground. You saw that gray shaft pop up right there. That was a tornadic debris signature, a TDS. Sometimes you get a confirmation by spotters saying, I see a tornado, or a person, or an emergency manager, or a sheriff. Sometimes you get it by radar. Our radars are so good right now and so sophisticated. You couldn't do this 15 years ago. The radar can actually tell what's going on in terms of seeing raindrops, seeing debris lofted. It can tell the difference between what it's bouncing off of. And at least for a moment there near Hebron, the confirmed tornado, also reported by people, by the way, in the area, was confirmed by radar. Let's check this out. First on the shear, and then we'll go to our more typical velocity. Near South 500 West, east of Hebron, on State Road 8. This appears to be trucking down State Road 8. We'll put on a little motion here over the last 15 minutes so you can get a better sense if you are in that area. And there it goes. So it's lifting not only eastward down State Road 8, but northeastward. So anybody in this tornado warned polygon, you notice it went purple when it got confirmed. This is a very, very serious situation. These tornadoes that we've seen have the ability to be deadly, tornadoes this strong can severely damage or even destroy some houses. Now, we can't tell always how strong a tornado is just by radar. We can rarely tell, in fact, exactly how strong it is by radar. The National Weather Service the next day or day after goes out there and surveys the damage and puts together the pieces of exactly how strong those winds are. What we've seen the atmosphere capable of tonight, though, according to the National Weather Service, strong or even violent. That's EF3, EF4 tornadoes. I hope we have not seen any of those materialize, but it's not out of the realm of possibility. Let me check real quick on the storm relative velocity. Any word from Gabe, guys, in the control room, who's, I think, on this storm? Okay. Let's check in with Gabe and then Victor. Gabe Cox, our tornado chaser. If you can hear me, Gabe, are you still near Hebron on this tornado, and is it still on the ground?
David, I got to go. I just found out on some damage. There's homes hit here southeast of Hebron. We need emergency personnel here. Homes have been destroyed. I'm going to run up and check on these people.
Go rescue those people, Gabe. Thank you so much. You heard it from our storm chaser. I told you storm chasers see some awful things sometimes, but this is why it's important that they're there, not only to tell us what they're seeing and help keep other people safe, but to rescue people. Gabe, I've known him for 5-10 years. He's rescued many people, and it appears that's what he's in the midst of right now. If there are emergency crews listening to me right now, southeast side of Hebron, homes have been destroyed. You heard it from our storm chaser in that area. Homes destroyed and people in need of rescue. Kylie?
In DuPage County. This goes until 8:30. So again, we are dealing with
This is a tornado outbreak now.
Yeah, we are dealing with numerous tornado warnings. So this one, again, is not confirmed yet, but we are under that tornado warning now. This is for DuPage County until 8:30. This includes Downers Grove. It includes York. So now we are dealing with that line that we were concerned about all day long. It is now moving into a more energetic environment. It is clashing with that very sticky, the very hot air, and it's just creating enough instability for some spin to happen. And we've already had a history of these cells actually producing tornadoes. So the National Weather Service is issued another tornado warning for DuPage County, and it looks like we have another one now that is just for LaPorte County. This one goes until 8:45, so this one is also radar indicated. So we're monitoring this here very closely. It looks like it's going to be closer to the lakefront in Michigan City. So these areas, you need to seek shelter. You need to get into the lowest floor possible of an interior room of a sturdy complex as well. You need to make sure that you are seeking shelter immediately because we are dealing with numerous tornado warnings right now.
Yeah,
so
you see that circulation near Naperville?
I'm going back to that one.
The other one near Schaumburg, 2 possible tornadoes moving into Chicagoland, due east.
Okay, and I was just talking to Dave Savini, too. He said in Naperville, there's a lot of heavy rainfall right now, so maybe we could get him on the phone, too, for those listening out in the back. I do want to put on our latest scans, and we can look at our velocity right here. So for those in Downers Grove, York, you need to make sure that you are seeking shelter immediately. We will have to also watch out for O'Hare if there's any possible delays. Looks like velocity is not working the best right now, so let's go ahead and put radar back on. David, we might want to check out the Barron computer on your end and see about those storms.
Let's use the terminal velocity over here on Barron. I got you guys covered. And then I know we're supposed to check in with Victor, who is on the ground in Streeter, right? Curious if he has some damage to show us. Still watching the confirmed tornado east of Hebron, where homes have been reported destroyed, and our storm chaser just told us people are in need of rescue. That is moving due east, I should say east-northeast. If you're in these tornado warning polygons in Porter County, really most people in Porter County, it looks like, need to be in their tornado safe place. Another possible tornado right now that has been confirmed at times moving toward Town of Pines and Michigan City. Now, we're going to get into those, let's get into these metro area tornadoes first, and we'll switch over to the radar that gives us the most clear perspective. And it looks like this is going to be the O'Hare velocity that's going to be our moneymaker right now. And this is the closest radar we've got, giving us the best scan into the atmosphere here. And if we put this on a loop, I think it only goes for about 10 minutes in reality. There it is. And you can see that possible, well, it is a confirmed tornado warning. Confirmed tornado by radar near Bartlett, moving toward Roselle, Itasca, and Elk Grove. Schaumburg, it's on your south side. I'm not seeing right now terribly alarming signs of rotation in terms of a strong tornado on the ground, but it has been a confirmed tornado, and it may have lifted briefly, or it may still be on the ground. We can't always see everything with radar, even this most sophisticated one that anybody's got. South of there, Naperville, I told you there's a strong circulation and a tornado warning here. This is now also very close to our O'Hare radar. Remember, a couple years ago, we had that tornado cross the runway on our live camera, live on TV with you at O'Hare. This one,
ground stop at O'Hare until 8:15.
yeah, ground stop at O'Hare. Ground stop at O'Hare until 8:15 is what Kylie was just saying. There's a live pic from O'Hare. Certainly, these planes do not need to be flying into these storms right now. The pilots don't want to be either. Absolutely. Let's go back to the radar. And if we take off the terminal radar, I know that's kind of a fancy way of saying it. That's basically just the small airport radar, which gives us the closest view, but it doesn't have all the features that our other radar has. So let's get a different view with the storm relative velocity. Tornado warning continues on the west side of Chicago, the west suburbs, from Naperville and Downers Grove southward to Woodridge, Willowbrook, and Darien. So we can check the shear right now, and let's see what's been trending. Okay, yeah, plenty of rotation in this storm. If we have a tornado in this storm, it's right over Lisle. So Lisle to Downers Grove, as this moves out of Naperville and toward you need to be in your tornado safe place right now. The same is true for Westmont. If you're just tuning in because your alarm emergency alert tone went off, and you're in DuPage County or in the west suburbs of Chicago, let's remind you on what to do. We need you in the basement if possible. Underground is the best place to be. If you don't have that option, that's okay. Interior-most room of your home, business, apartment. If you live in an apartment building, now that these are coming into the city, we've got to talk about taller buildings. If you live on the 20th floor and you've got all glass from floor to ceiling, obviously we don't want you there in a tornado warning. Go not only out of your unit into the hallway, but go to the stairwell. Don't want you in an elevator in case you lose power. Go to the stairwell and go down. We want you down on the bottom floor or in the parking garage or basement of your tall building. Remember that in Chicago, too, in case we get some tornado warnings here. So remember, lowest floor, interior-most room. That's going to keep you safe in 99% of tornadoes. If we do have one, again, that's right here from Downers Grove and Lisle. Some more strong rotation indicated by our radar down toward Woodridge and also Westmont. And as our radar wakes up here, let's take you again up to the north. No confirmation on that one, but we've got it here on this tornado warning. Although with that said, it looks like our rotation detector might be detecting some weakening. So this is good. Tornado warning dropped for Schaumburg. There you go. So as the circulation has fallen apart, Schaumburg out to Bartlett. After you saw a confirmed tornado in or near Bartlett, you can come out of your tornado safe place right now. That's also good news for the 9.5 million people in the path of this storm in much of Cook and other parts of DuPage counties. This storm has the capability of producing a tornado. Another warning might pop up, but for now, that northern circulation approaching the north suburbs has weakened. We still have a tornado warning here, though, in Downers Grove and Woodridge. If this holds, it will be moving toward the east and northeast. I know Kylie was just tracking this out, but we'll give you another track on this. The overall line is kind of moving east-southeast, but the individual storms moving east-northeast. So now we're getting into some really populated areas. North Lake, 1 minute from right now. Stone Park, 2 minutes from now. Westchester, 2 minutes from now, and you can see all these communities packed into just the next 7 or 8 minutes as it really gets towards some populated areas like Franklin Park. Again, no tornado warning in Cook County yet, but we'll let you know if that does happen. Out toward Indiana, still a monster concern with tornado warnings in Newton and Jasper counties. These have shown weaker signs of strong tornadoes on the ground, but we still need you in your safe place. Haven't forgotten about you in Rensselaer and Rosebud, but strong tornado on the ground likely still south of Valparaiso. Kylie.
And we're starting to see a little bit of rotation happening in Newton County between Beaver and Livingston. We're getting reports of that. Nothing confirmed yet by the National Weather Service, but it has been looking like there has been rotation there. This is getting reports coming in from our NWS chat. This is for US 41. So as I zoom in, it does look like around Beaver to Iroquois. There could have been a possible touchdown tornado from reports. Nothing confirmed yet from the National Weather Service.
Okay,
but
great.
This is that one line that we were keeping a close eye on.
Yeah, and this has the capability of producing tornadoes as it moves toward Rensselaer and Rosebud. So you guys are under a tornado warning, even though it's not confirmed as sighted or confirmed by radar. Take this seriously, please. Let's go into this. What a monster here. We're looking at the velocity scan, and let me query some of these before we get another scan. This is crazy. Some of these winds that the radar is picking up, blowing 86 miles per hour in one direction and at least 13 miles an hour in the other direction. Here's a new scan. Let me clear these off, and we'll do another query. This can, be some indicator of tornado strength, but it's not a guarantee. You can't always just add these up and figure out how strong the tornado is. But we've got rotational velocities here. Come on, 102 miles per hour, and the other direction nearly 40 miles an hour. That's 140 miles an hour of rotational velocity, of spin in this storm. If that were translated to a tornado on the ground, that would be an EF2-ish. We can't, of course, tell that for sure, but boy, even an EF0, I want to be underground. I want to be in the interior-most room of the house, and this is the confirmed tornado that's moving that way. Shear indicators, I'm sure, still very powerful. Yeah, still showing a large area of a likely tornado in this zone. We still have our storm chaser in this area who, remember, just left us a moment ago because he was near Hebron, and the good human that he is, he said, forget chasing the storm. I just found people who needed to be rescued. And he is doing so right now in Hebron, along with many emergency crews who we have to thank for their efforts. The tornado warning looks like extended now, Kylie, as this moves into LaPorte County. So now we all need to seek shelter in LaPorte County as well.
Right. So this new tornado warning goes until 9:15. So for pretty much the entire county of LaPorte, you're basically under a tornado warning. So it's two different areas in LaPorte County that we're keeping a close eye on. So as I zoom in, the first one is up through Michigan City and then back around the lake into Wills, even into southern sections of Michigan. So we're keeping an eye on that with that heavy rainfall happening, a lot of that cloud ground lighting, and of course the rotation too. But there's that new tornado warning that's been extended into LaPorte County. It is still the bulk of it is happening around Couch, but again, everyone needs to get into their safe place, their shelter immediately. So let's go ahead and put a storm track on this one to get you a few locations. So it looks like Hannah at 8:36, Union Mills coming your way at 8:40, Kingsford Heights at 8:45, Kankakee, and this is Kankakee in Indiana, coming your way at 8:57, Polk at 10:04. So I've been getting a lot of reports of people hearing the sirens. So those sirens are meant to be heard outdoors. You're probably also getting alerts, hopefully on your phone. You need to seek shelter immediately. Get to the lowest floor of a sturdy building as possible. These are very populated areas, and we have confirmed tornadoes. So there's been a huge history of tornadoes popping up, not only across northwest Indiana, but starting all the way back into LaSalle County too. So, David, I lost count of how many tornado warnings we've experienced already so far today. There have been numerous. It's going to be very interesting to see what comes out of this. But again, for Newton and Jasper counties, we're still dealing with this Boeing echo. Could see a little bit of those inflow notches, giving us just a little bit of rotation. And again, there's a ground stop happening at O'Hare because it's not just northwest Indiana getting hit by these storms. It's also Cook County and the back into DuPage County.
We had a 6-hour average delay last night at O'Hare, 6 hours, and that was without a tornado warning. That was from destructive thunderstorm winds. So Kylie was just showing you these confirmed tornado warnings in northwest Indiana. We also still have the possibility of tornadoes along this squall line, though hopefully these will be fewer and farther between down toward Rensselaer. And we also have a tornado warning that's active in DuPage County. As this circulation heads into Cook County, we'll let you know if this is extended. We've got to get to our Victor Jacobo
from Cook County.
Okay.
There's a tornado warning now for Cook County.
Victor Jacobo is going to have to wait just another minute. We've got a reporter live down in Streeter in the wake of what was a strong tornado. We're going to get to him with damage in just a minute. But Cook County going under a tornado warning.
So now Chicago You're included in this. So is Midway, Harvey, Orland Park. So Cook County is included in this tornado warning. This goes until 8:45. Everyone needs to make sure that they are seeking shelter immediately. Again, a very highly populated area. We're starting to see some bowing happen. I don't know if we can get my radar computer or if you're positioned there. There we go. So David could also take it so he can zoom in a little bit further, but we are seeing some bowing. So places, again, including Orland Park, Midway, Chicago, you're under a tornado warning until 8:45. So we have about a half an hour yet to go. Let's put a storm track on this. David, I believe it is moving at, let's see. I think it's moving at probably 35 miles per hour.
Let me get that for you.
Oh, it's moving fast, 65 miles per hour.
65, okay,
This is a fast-moving system, which is great news.
Yeah, let me get in on this here.
Yeah.
She'll give you the track. Oh, sorry, didn't mean to cut you off there. Let's go with the track with Kylie for just 1 minute, and then we'll go real tight on the circulation here, which we can see moving into Cook County.
Yeah, so let's go ahead and clear that. We're going to get a fresh track for everybody. So again, this is moving fast, 65 miles per hour, but due east. So it's going to be moving out here in Midway at 8:28, Gary at 9:27, Liberty at 10:20, LaPorte at 11:05. So everyone needs to make sure that you are seeking shelter. I know now, David, we're in a lot of high-rise areas. You need to make sure that you're getting to the lowest level possible. And I'm going to send it over to you so you can dissect this storm.
You said 65 miles an hour?
That's what it says.
Forward speed? That's crazy. So we just heard some phones going off here in the studio. The Loop is under a tornado warning. The city of Chicago, at least parts of it from about the Ike and the Loop southward, are under a tornado warning. So we all need to seek shelter immediately as this tornadic circulation comes our way. If you're just joining in, the most important thing you can do if you're in this tornado warning is get down to a basement or underground. If that's not an option, go to the lowest floor possible, the center of the building, and put as many walls of protection between you and the outside as possible. A room with no exterior walls or windows, please. If we do have a tornado with this is not a confirmed tornado yet, but if we do have this, it's likely right here. Let's check out the shear. Sometimes this can help filter out the noise. Yeah, there it is. Bridgeview, Hickory Hills, Palos Hills. We had a reporter there earlier. I don't know if they're still in place. Burbank, Oak Lawn, up to Summit and LaGrange. Any of these, especially the little red spots that you're seeing, could be, and there it goes. It's moving really fast. Could be a tornado. The most intense rotation we have, unfortunately, it's coming right up 55. You guys have our Midway cam. Actually, I've got that right here. Let's see what we're seeing from the Midway camera, because there might be a tornado forming or on the ground.
The problem is it's so dark now. It's dark and it's hard to see. The storm's coming. Plus, we're dealing with a line situation too.
Yeah, right. And
which is even more dangerous.
We've got rain falling at night. This is not a good situation for the city of Chicago. So, folks in the newsroom, by the way, let's go ahead and take our tornado precautions. This is coming up 55, a possible tornado toward the downtown, South Loop, Chinatown areas potentially. These things can wobble north or southward, but it's wise with our studio under tornado precautions. We need to practice what we preach, and folks in the newsroom get to the control room or another interior-most portion of the building. Also the parking garage if you're not needed at your computer station, or the Studio B, also a safe place to be during a storm like this. So the possible tornado, if we do have it, would be right about here near South Austin Ave, where it hits Interstate 55. You can see green next to red. Not a massive tornado on the ground as it looks right now, but certainly some signs of tornadic rotation. On the broader view, you can kind of see, as we look right here, what I'm looking to find out is where kind of green meets red in the tightest fashion. We've got a real messy shear setup, which is why the National Weather Service painted a broad tornado warning from Cicero and the Loop out to Hinsdale, everywhere south of there too. I know it's not even raining in places like Dolton, Cal City, Oak Forest yet, but you need to take your tornado precautions. Go to the lowest floor, interior-most room of the building. The radar itself is showing just how quickly that bow is moving. And this is why it can be tricky to pick out where the tornado is. We talked about little notches in the line. Could be this notch, could be that notch, could be this notch, which is why we have these other tools to look at to help us determine where the most likely tornado area is. And I'll tell you, it's not on the front of the line right here. These are damaging thunderstorm wind gusts for sure, but it's probably on the periphery of the line. It could be this circulation right here northwest of Midway near Stickney. This is a possible tornado, or at least a funnel cloud close to Forest View. Let's check in on the velocity from one of our other radars, which is even closer. We can actually look at the Midway velocity, which is right next to this thing. And goodness, look at this. Even if we don't have a tornado on the ground tonight in Chicago, we have damaging thunderstorm winds yet again. 63 mile per hour. That's a severe thunderstorm wind that will bring down more tree limbs, cause more power outages. This is another destructive storm that's hitting the south side. It seems like we can't get away from these. In its path, places like Jackson Park, the new Obama Center, University of Chicago, all the way up, potentially, if this wiggles a little bit, toward Hyde Park and Bronzeville. The most damaging thunderstorm wind gusts right now. Thought I had that turned off. Apologize. I just got a new phone over the weekend. Yes, please. The most damaging thunderstorm wind gusts right here between Midway and Inglewood. These are blasting eastward into the city. Let's take the Wrigley cam that I just heard about in the control room. You remember we had many large concerts outside tonight at Wrigley, at Northerly Island. We had a Sox game tonight, and look at this. This is our crew at Wrigley watching the storm blow in. You can see the rain blowing sideways. Look at the flags. Ripping from west to east, ominous clouds, a great shot. And see, this is why it's dangerous to have people at large events. This is the Mumford & Sons concerts, right, at Wrigley tonight. This was a big event with thousands of people. Some of them probably weren't even aware there was a severe thunderstorm threat, and now we're caught out in it. So if you're the emergency manager responsible for this, if you're, the event manager on site, this is this is not an ideal scenario, because you've got all these people now finding places to seek shelter near a large metal stadium, which can occasionally attract lightning. I know they have procedures for this. I know they're going to keep everybody safe, but not a great night to be at this concert, nor any of the outdoor events scheduled, or at least previously scheduled, in parts of Chicago. We have a lot going on the radar, though. Let's get back to this. We've got the Cook County warning.
His other phone went off.
One more time. We've got the Cook County warning. We've got multiple tornado warnings in Indiana, which we'll get back to in a second. I want to check back on the more traditional storm relative velocity and shear, see if we can pick out any potential tornadoes. Sometimes, if there's a messy setup like this, the National Weather Service pulls the trigger on a tornado warning just to be safe, even though we can't exactly tell if there's a tornado forming or on the ground. But everywhere on the southern half of Cook County, if your phone went off, like some of ours did, we need you to seek shelter immediately. That includes places like Oak Lawn, Worth, Palos Park. And even if we're not seeing a tornado, look at these incredible thunderstorm wind gusts. These are going to bring down more trees, cause more power outages. These are, 78 miles per hour. That's a Category 1 hurricane. 76 miles per hour. That's like an EF0 or EF1 tornado. So a significant storm moving through Chicago at this hour. Our Kylie Miller with team coverage here. A lot of storms to watch tonight, not just this one in Chicago.
Right. So let's go ahead and focus back in on Northwest Indiana so we can kind of regroup. And for those who are just now tuning in and joining us here, we have been tracking numerous tornadoes. And it looks like we have a new tornado warning. David, if you want to grab this really quick. So it looks like we have a new tornado warning, and this one goes from Michigan City back into LaPorte, even into Hudson. Is there a way that we could take this full just for 1 second? So I'm going to go and run this to David for a quick second. This is yours.
Thank you.
Alrighty, so let's go ahead and look at that new tornado warning. So this one goes for LaPorte County until 9:15, and that's the extension of the one. Sorry about that. All of our phones are now going off here. So we now have that tornado warning still for Cook County. We have a new severe thunderstorm warning. This is for East Chicago, Hammond, back into Gary, due to this line that continues to bow out. So Northwest Indiana, we're going to go ahead and do a radar tour. I'm going to take off some of these current warnings so we can kind of see what is going on without those being a distraction to us. So Chicago, Cook County under that tornado warning. It looks like my computer is eventually going to cooperate. All right, so let's go ahead and put this new radar on, and then we're going to look at some velocities too. Here we go. So southern portions of Valparaiso, it looks like we have this observed confirmed tornado. Zooming in, you can see a little bit of a hook. It looks like close to the 421 and 30 corridor. This observed, the latest scan just moving it towards Wanaka. And also Hannah, you're going to be in the path of this. These are areas that have already been dealing with some of those strong storms. So these northwest Indiana storms are definitely not as fast moving as the other storms. So it looks like, Hannah, you're going to be impacted at around 8:38, Kingsford Heights at 8:47, 8:59, Kankakee, North Liberty at 10:08, Crumstown at 10:13. And just note, in these areas, sometimes we do get those different time zones, moving over from Central Time Zone over into Eastern Time Zone. So we're going to clear that. We're going to go back over to Newton and Jasper County, plus southern portions of Porter County, as well as Lake County. So we have this Boeing echo. Places like Beaver, you're in the clear for now, at least, with this one cell that's moving on through. You can see wherever we have a bow, and that's why I'm more concerned with these strong winds. These are moving at about east at 45 miles per hour. So places like Wheatfield around 850, North Judson at 935, North Bend at 1010, 1133 in Rochester. So let's clear this one, and we're going to be looking at a few other locations. And again, if you're outside, you're probably hearing those sirens going off. Your phones are probably going off. You need to make sure that you are getting to the lowest level in an interior room. Still even into DuPage County, Downers Grove, it looks like we don't have an imminent threat for any, there we go. It looks like we just dropped that tornado warning, but we still have that tornado warning for central portions of Cook County, as we do have this line bowing out, still moving at a very quick clip at around 65 miles per hour. So places like Gary and 9:04 arrival time for you, as long as this holds together, which I think it will. St. John at around 9:46, Valparaiso at 10:39, LaPorte at 10:40, Olive coming in after the midnight hour. So David, we're going to continue to track, yes, these tornadoes. We're going to have to see if there's any damage coming out of Cook County. And Newsroom, let me know if you have received any of that damage with some of those reports. But I'll let you take over the Barron computer.
Yeah, we've got some photos coming in from Lakeview, actually, Diversity Harbor area, looking westward as these storms approached. And we're not looking at anything tornadic in this picture. We do have a lower shelf cloud, a really heavy precipitation shield. Good picture there from Lakeview. We appreciate any footage you guys can get us. So always bring it in. Also some damage coming out of Merrillville, Indiana. That does not look good. We're working to get you those images. We don't have them yet, right? Merrillville damage. That's okay. All right, we're going to punch that up for you. If it's in line with what I was just looking at off screen, this is indicative of certainly tornado damage in Merrillville. And right there, we're seeing snapped power poles, leaned over big trees, power lines down on roadways. This looks like it's from Brian Thompson's maybe social media, who kindly shared it with us. There's some tree damage there, indicative of some at least 80, 90 plus mile an hour winds. We've also heard of some damage in Merrillville that would be indicative of a stronger EF2 type of a tornado. So we're working to cover all these warnings across our area. I want to get back to radar because we need to address our friends in Indiana as well. As we look outside in the loop, rain pouring down as this squall line of damaging winds and severe thunderstorm wind gusts and potentially embedded tornadoes moves through. Can I get weather 1, please? And say that one more time. Great, thank you. So here we go. So the tornado warning continues for the loop, still not out of the woods yet, out to Cicero and areas south of that, down toward the far south suburbs east of Oak Lawn. So Alsip, Dalton, Cal City. Alsip, you guys saw a heck of a wind damage event yesterday, and now we've got another one rolling through. The concern here, in addition to wind and tree damage, power line and tree damage, I should say, is embedded tornadoes. So let's just make sure we're not going to get anything in the middle of that precipitation shield. Let's just make sure we're not missing anything on the front line. And yeah, I still don't see any strong indications of a tornado on this. On the south side of it, again, we still need to be in our tornado safe place, especially with some shear showing up from Alsip to Oak Forest, heading toward Cal City and Hammond. But we don't have strong signs of a tornado on the ground here. Now, I know our friends in Indiana are saying, what about us? Well, you guys do have a confirmed tornado warning just west of Hanna. And for Hanna and Kingsford Heights, let's put on the velocity here. And look at this. We've got likely a tornado on the ground just west of Hanna. If we put a little motion on this, about 15 minutes or so, yeah, that was a really strong tornado likely on the ground. This is the same one that destroyed homes in Hebron, on the southeast side of Hebron. Remember, our storm chaser said he was chasing this, and then he came across people who needed to be rescued. So he stopped and did so, helped out with the efforts. Now, we don't have visual confirmation from our chaser here anymore west of Hanna, but we're getting reports from the National Weather Service as well that in addition to this tornado, the damaging squall line moving through Chicago is eventually making it into Indiana and some towns that have been hit hard by tornadoes this evening. So we may get a 1-2, even a 1-2-3 punch in some of these areas. We've got a new warning popping up for northern Lake County, Indiana. This is a severe thunderstorm warning that appears to be a considerable warning for wind gusts of up to 70 miles per hour and the possibility of a tornado or two. We also have tornado warnings, haven't forgotten about you guys, in Newton and Jasper counties. Now, these have been trimmed down. Rensselaer, for instance, no longer in the warning, but anywhere from DeMotte, where we had a confirmed tornado about 10 miles north of you earlier, to Lake Village, down to extreme eastern parts of Jasper County, east of Rensselaer, we've still got to be in our tornado safe place. Let's check out the shear markers. On the front edge of this is mainly a wind damage event, I think, but on the front edge of this, you can see some spots of rotation indicated by these little green spots, and this is heading toward many areas that have already been hit hard by tornadic thunderstorms this evening. Back towards southern LaPorte County, this is the confirmed tornado warning we have, not for LaPorte, although you guys are under a non-confirmed tornado warning. We need to take our precautions there seriously as well. But this is the confirmed tornado. We're getting some reports off screen from fire departments on this storm of a tornado on the ground. Fire departments on this storm actually sending some visual proof of a tornado on the ground. So where is it exactly? This is the most important part. And here it is, just on the northwest side of Hanna. We're seeing red next to green, some really strong rotational velocities, wind blowing toward the radar in this part of the storm at about 11 miles an hour, nothing big, but wind blowing away from the radar, this part of the storm, at 64 miles an hour. So that's about hurricane force rotational velocity, or gate-to-gate shear, as we call it. This is likely still a tornado on the ground, as we're hearing from first responders and emergency personnel in that area. Let me reset for a moment, because it's hard for us to even keep track of all the active warnings. Let's look at the radar, and let's actually remove it so we can look at just the warnings. We got severe thunderstorm warning. Northwest suburbs, you guys are in the clear. No warnings for you. South side of Chicago, far south suburbs into northern Will County, severe thunderstorm warning. Severe thunderstorm warnings for Lake County, Indiana, and Porter County. Tornado warnings for extreme southern sections of Porter and Lake County, Indiana, and northeast Jasper County. We also have tornado warnings for much of LaPorte County, some of those confirmed, some of them not. But this is the most concerning tornado that we were watching, the one that's moving right here southeast of Westville into these populated areas. This is the one moving toward Hanna and Kingsford Heights. So Kingsford Heights, Kingsbury, these are among the most important spots on my radar right now for an imminent tornado. This is moving eastward at about 35 to 40 miles per hour. So this is going to put the possible tornado, or confirmed tornado at times at least, in the areas listed at the times listed. Here's the map. Hanna, it's on your doorstep right now. It's 8:37. This arrives at 8:38. Safe place now. Stop delaying. Just go. Hamlet, 8:56 p.m. Kankakee, Indiana, not Kankakee, Illinois, 9 p.m. Lakeville and La Paz, if this holds together, this will be pushing out of our area toward 9:20, 9:25. So let's check back in on this location of the possible tornado, at times confirmed. And there it is, rolling toward Kingsford Heights. You can see this red area showing strong markers of a tornado, strong shear, and the velocity showing red next to green. This is tightened up even a bit more, Kylie, west of Kingsford Heights. So we got a lot to keep track of. I know it's important to see the damage and see what's going on. Do we still have Victor?
No, we don't.
Okay, so we've got crews all over the place fanning out to give you a perspective of what this looks like. As soon as we get footage, we promise we're relaying it to you. It's kind of a hectic situation out there with emergency responders, of course, doing their most important work, and then we're somewhere down here getting video of the storms and making sure, of course, everybody is safe first and foremost before we worry about reports. But any visuals we get, and we got a whole team of people upstairs working on it, we are working on getting you those. So as we watch this confirmed tornado moving toward Kingsbury and Kingsford Heights, let's go back to our live picture of Wrigley. And the worst of the storm has now moved out of much of Chicago. What a different picture. Still some lightning lighting up the sky, still some rain falling. You can see some folks in the gates there, rain there in the street lights and in the stadium lights. Great perspective of what was supposed to be a great evening at Mumford & Sons. The sold out, I guess, June 11th, 2026 tour turning into a bit of a rain out. Hopefully they are still able to have this. I believe this was delayed until 10, is that right? Yeah, so this concert's still going on until 10. I suspect the nearby bars are, sorry, it starts at 10, that's what I meant. I suspect the nearby bars are quite full this evening as people wait on that concert and seek shelter. Back to the radar we go, and we'll back to the Cook County warning. Are you watching Chicago? Kylie, you got something else?
So no, so Chicago's not included in it, but we still do have some sections of Cook County.
So Chicago's out of the tornado warning?
Yes.
Good. Everybody in Chicago, thank you for taking your tornado precautions. You can now come back out. Kylie, let's get to what you're watching.
Yeah, so I was just going to give some folks the all clear because I know we've had a lot going on over the past several hours. Even yesterday, we had a lot of these storms roll through. So we're going to start to approach the 9 o'clock hour here within 20 minutes, and we're going to start to give folks the all clear. But now this is going to be all about the cleanup. So places including Lake County, McHenry County, you are still under a flash flood warning. That goes until later this evening. We've received here multiple inches of rainfall, and it still does look like we're going to be in for a little bit more rain, but it's just going to be light to moderate bursts of rain now since that cold front is pushing through central Cook County. Places including LaSalle County, DeKalb County, you currently have dry conditions too, so you don't have to be in your basement anymore. It looks like for central portions of Joliet, we still have a severe thunderstorm warning, so in the meantime, just until it expires, to be on the safe side, make sure that you stay inside your safe place. For Chicago itself, central Cook County, we do not have any active warnings at this moment as this line continues to bow, moving around the lake, getting closer to northwest Indiana, an area that already was hit super hard by all this rain and these storms. But we still do have portions of Cook County like Burnham, Calumet City, South Holland under a tornado warning. I want to go ahead and take a look at the velocity just to see if we have any amount of, it looks like, rotation. It doesn't really look like it at this moment, just some super strong winds associated with it. So I think this is going to be a situation very close to what we experienced yesterday, where it's just going to be a lot of heavy rainfall coming down at a quick clip, plus dealing with some very strong winds, possibly hurricane force wind strength. So it looks like we still do have that active warning, and let's see what time this warning goes. So places including until 8:45. So places including those locations that I just mentioned, Calumet City, Burnham, you can come out at 8:45. So within 4 minutes, and then you should be good to go unless this does get extended. We're still dealing with some severe thunderstorm warnings around the lake into northwest Indiana, and then still we're really monitoring LaPorte County. This is where we have those active tornado warnings. That is going to go until it looks like 9:15. So for places, let's zoom in. It looks like it's just towards the north of Dewey. So Kingsford Heights, Hannah, you are included in that tornado warning, and then back up towards LaPorte as well as Olive, closing in on South Bend. Let's go ahead and just put a velocity track on that so we can see. We are dealing with a little bit of rotation, but at least it's looking like broader rotation right around Kingsford Heights. So you need to make sure that you are seeking shelter. You're going into the lowest lowest floor possible of an interior room, away from windows, as well as away from doors. Putting our radar scan back on. And I want to look at the lightning strikes because there has been a lot of lightning associated with this as well. And yeah, you can see all of those lightning strikes. I've actually been noticing some reports, not for our exact viewing area, but there's been reports of some fires. I'm not sure if those fires are from transformers that were busted or from, you know, a cloud of ground lightning strike. Of course, we're going to work really hard all night long to get you that information, but you really do need to seek shelter if you're still underneath one of these warnings. But for Chicago, at least, David, we do have the all clear, but of course, it is still going to be raining outside.
Absolutely, yeah. And I want to show you the confirmed tornado warning and then read something off my phone to you from our chaser. The confirmed tornado still really concerning from Kingsford Heights and Kingsbury, moving east-northeast toward Hamlet and Kankakee, Indiana. This is well east of Chicago. And by the way, Chicago, our severe thunderstorm risk is quickly winding down for the evening behind this squall line. We may make it out without any or many tornado touchdowns in the city, depending on what happened over the past hour. But this storm right here, with still likely a confirmed tornado, let's check the shear. Whoop, my phone's messing it up here. Let's check the shear markers right there near Kingsbury and Kingsford Heights. This is one way that we can detect what's going on in the storm. There it is. Strong indications of a tornado. I wonder if we have a debris ball. No debris ball, but still a tornado likely on the ground moving through LaPorte County south of LaPorte. Back to that in a minute. Let's get to the video of the tornado earlier. This is video from a number of sources that we've gotten. I believe this is from Scott Laskin. Yeah, this is from Scott Laskin, one of the storm chasers we're in touch with out there. This is a strong tornado, possibly a violent tornado. Those are official classifications depending on where it lands in the EF scale. And we try not to do too much, posturing about how strong the tornado is just by looking at it. But these are unusual tornadoes. This is what the Kankakee deadly tornado looked like in March. This is not an EF0 or EF1. This is a strong home. And now we're getting new reports from my storm chaser partner who was reporting for us earlier, Gabe Cox. Remember, he came across some homes in Hebron that were destroyed by this tornado a little later in its track. Well, let me read this to you as you look at the tornado and also look at a rescue that a different chaser came across. This rescue was from earlier in its track near the Streeter area, or in Streeter. Our chaser, Scott Laskin, came upon this gentleman and his wife who were buried in rubble, and they helped save them. He said he may have had some lacerations, there was some blood, he may have had broken bones even, but they were okay. Storm chasers sometimes the first on the scene, and you can see some police officers there rescuing the folks. Gosh, we appreciate all of our first responders helping everyone in need tonight. But a similar scene played out. You're looking at video from Streeter, but as I read this to you, this is what happened in Hebron. Gabe Cox says, hey man, the chase is over. We pulled up on the neighborhood that got hit and performed some search and rescue. We were able to pull a family out, and thankfully they are completely unharmed. There were 4 individuals within the house. The house blew completely off the foundation. Amazingly, they survived in their foundation basement. A home reported to blow off its foundation, a modular home, he says, on the southeast side of Hebron. That is not a weak tornado. When we talk about homes, I'm not a construction expert, I won't pretend to be, but when we talk about modular homes or otherwise that are blown completely off the foundation, that's a strong or violent, typically EF3 or stronger tornado. Remember the one in Kankakee and Newton County in March was an EF3. That was serious. We may have had stronger tornadoes than that because what we didn't see in Kankakee were, with the exception of one home, and that might have been sort of a mobile home setup, any homes completely wiped off the slab. This is why we have been telling you, and will continue to until the threat is over, that some of these tornadoes you have to be underground for. An EF0, EF1, you usually don't need to be. An interior room of your house, you're probably going to do just fine. Of course, it's always safest to be underground and be in the basement if you can. But the atmosphere is capable of producing today. This is what we've been telling you all day yesterday, all day today. capable of producing intense or violent tornadoes that are really only survivable underground. And that is case, I'm pointing to my phone, that was case in point. Our storm chaser friend in Hebron found a family of 4 who survived only because they were in their foundation basement. Had they been in their home that was completely wiped off the slab, I fear to think what would have happened to that family of 4. We're so glad that they were okay. We're really, really hopeful. This is the thing that's most important to me and to Kylie, is that at the end of the day, everybody makes it out, because
get over.
It's fun to track the weather, but it's when people are hurt or killed, it's tough.
And we were talking about this before the broadcast even, and we said, we come in days off, we come in all hours of the day to protect you, because our jobs as meteorologists are to protect life as well as property. And that is why we are here. And I know some people do get mad at us. We are running over their shows on CBS, and I know you want to see Tracker, you want to see all of our great shows that we have, but we will eventually re-air them. These are lives that we are talking about, and so from the bottom of our hearts, we want everyone to be safe, and that's why we take this job so seriously, and we are here for everybody. My mom is from out of town. She is from Michigan. She is visiting with me right now. My dad is in Springfield. He is doing a lot of cleanup with a lot of these damage reports. So yes, our family is here, our community is here, and that's why, we do get so emotional in these types of situations. But we're not done with that storm threat. We are, for the most part, across the Illinois side, but we still have this active tornado warning, and that is for portions of LaPorte County. So until this expires, and it is set to expire at 9:15, we're going to be staying with you, tracking this minute by minute. So it looks like, Hannah, we're still dealing with those rain showers, those thunderstorms continuing to move through. And it looks like we still do have a little bit of rotation right over Hannah. You can see where we have those greens as well as those reds. So it looks like that's more broad rotation. Kingsford Heights, it looks like even more strong winds there. Kingsbury, you still need to stay in your safe place until the National Weather Service does give us the all clear. So whenever you see these bright reds, these bright greens popping up, that's indication of that spin. Elsewhere, we don't have that spin, which is great news. And I do want to show everybody the latest watches. So as you can see, DeKalb back into Ottawa, Aurora, Kendall County, Grundy County, you are not included under this tornado watch anymore. It is supposed to expire at 9 o'clock, all with the exception of being LaPorte County. So LaPorte County, we're going to be staying with you until this tornado warning does expire or it does get lifted by the National Weather Service. Let's see how long this watch does go for you. And I'm going to try to clear this, and we are going to see. And then we're going to get you back to the radar too, because I really want to show everybody the latest scan. So the good news is the more immediate threat across Chicago, again, that has ended. Same thing with Joliet and Kankakee, Rensselaer. It looks like Valparaiso. Right now we do have a line of rain showers. Not dealing with any hail there, but from Hannah back into Kingsford Heights, we do have that dime-sized hailstone activity. And this is all due to that line, this one cluster that is still moving through. So we're currently still dealing with these deep reds, these purples. That's indication of those heavy downpours. And since now we're coming up to the 9 o'clock hour, this is a time where, a lot of folks are going to be wanting to go outside doing that cleanup. We've already experienced a lot of hard-hit communities. We saw a lot of that video happening. Well, now is not the time to go out, survey everything, because it's dark and it's dangerous because with all of that debris that's around. So it's going to be tomorrow. It's going to be a huge cleanup day, a very active day for everybody. So from Hannah still, and then back over to Kingsford Heights, I need you to still stay in your safe place. I do want to get a look at our velocity scan again so we can see that it is starting to weaken, which is great news, but we're going to be sticking with this last tornado warning that we have until 9:15. So again, they could expire early. I'm not seeing anything but I am starting to see a lot of these damage reports, and that's just a reason why that we get so emotional here is because we're seeing all of the damage. We are out here in the community. This is where we live. These are our neighbors. These are our homes, and that's why we take our jobs so seriously. So, David, I want to give you a hug. I will after this. Don't worry.
Oh,
so will Arlo.
Don't worry about me. I can't wait to see my baby boy. No, you're right. Let's focus on the tornado warning that we've got left. Let me take a moment and reset on the broad view, because Chicago, behind the line, our severe weather threat is ending or over. Crystal Lake, Lake County, up northwest of the city, Geneva and Aurora, no more concern with the wind damage, hail, or tornadoes tonight. Still some steady rain down 57 into Kankakee County, where many of us may be cleaning up from thunderstorm wind damage and tornado damage. But look at this. Newton and Jasper County, as Kylie was showing you, the storms have pushed east. Behind this, there is no juice left for any reinvigoration of storms in those areas that I was just mentioning. Now, we still do have that severe storm over the lake, which is clipping coastal or lakefront locations, I should say, of Lake County, Indiana. So zooming in here, we've got folks from East Chicago and Whiting out to Gary under a severe thunderstorm warning. And this is a special severe thunderstorm warning called a considerable one, because the possibility exists for not just typical 60-mile-per-hour severe thunderstorm wind gusts, but for gusts stronger than that, maybe up to 70, 75. Now, it's not a coincidence entirely that not to totally nerd out, that the winds are stronger offshore than they are at Gary. There's less friction with the Earth's surface as a storm blows over the lake. There's no buildings stopping the wind. There's no trees stopping the wind. So oftentimes we do see the storm's forward wind speed in terms of a thunderstorm wind gusts accelerate as it gets over that frictionless lake. The storm is showing lower wind speeds on land, which again, not a coincidence, but not totally for the reason I mentioned. We also have the center of the bow echo far north of Gary and Lake County, but we still are getting clipped here, especially out toward Wolf Lake, Whiting, East Chicago, now Ogden Dunes, Indiana Dunes. These areas are going to, and especially as we get a little farther northeast now, Michigan City, Town of Pines, we're going to get hit by this blast, which is nothing that you want to mess with either. These are likely 60 to 70 mile an hour. Yeah, these are hurricane force winds right now blowing over Lake Michigan. So mariners, hopefully they all sought safe harbor and safe shelter. Back to the confirmed tornado warning, and we'll check in where that is. It's just about to exit. Well, not the county, but the watch box, the warning box. So just north of Kankakee, Indiana, near Hamlet. This is where we likely have a confirmed tornado still ongoing this hour. We're also getting reports, by the way, on what I was just reading you about, the reports from our storm chaser about a home that was wiped off the slab and people survived in the basement in Hebron. Other fire rescue from Crown Point, Indiana, reporting multiple homes significantly damaged or destroyed in the Hebron area. This was the same storm, the same tornado that has now trekked through much of our viewing area, including right there. Some parts of northwest Indiana have been hit by 2 or 3 possible or confirmed tornadoes in the same area in the last couple of hours. So talk about adding insult to injury. And this comes after some of us are still without power from last night's severe thunderstorm. So a really extraordinary situation, still underway here for about the next 30 minutes, 45 minutes. And I will mention to our internal folks, it's very possible we have a normal 10 o'clock newscast, and we will return to programming sometime before 10 p.m. So we'll prepare on the back end for the expiration of these tornado warnings as the storms move out. But in the meantime, the likely tornado still on the ground, we think, toward Hamlet and areas north of Kankakee, Indiana. This is the most dangerous storm that we've got. We'll check in on the velocity one more time here. And yeah, this is a significant rotation in the storm. As we get a little farther away from the Romeoville radar, we're looking a few thousand feet up in the cloud instead of at the ground. We don't have a choice. But this is likely, at least a wall cloud, maybe even a tornado on the ground approaching Hamlet. So I think, Kylie, that this tornado warning will probably be extended eastward as the storms continue to move east-northeast.
To Kankakee again in LaSalle County, or LaPorte County rather. So we're going to have to see if that does get extended. If not, it does expire at 9:15. So then we would put you back to programming if it does. But if it does continue, of course, we're going to be sticking with you. I do want to talk about a new severe thunderstorm warning that was issued, though. And the reason why is not because of rotation. And this goes for for Porter County back into Lake County, and then again for sections of northern Newton County. And the reason why is because that storm that blew through the Chicagoland area, you can still see some of that residual storm activity from Orland Park. So this is still yet to come. It's a boundary. It's an upper level boundary. So it's going to be kicking up some strong winds. So we're going to be experiencing winds gusting up to about 50 to 60 miles per hour as this continues to move off towards the east at 50 miles per hour. And that's why still for portions of northwest Indiana do have that severe thunderstorm warning, as this line, again, mainly in the upper levels, continues to move. So let's go ahead and put a storm track on it, because we could be experiencing those 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts, not as strong as what we had yesterday, but still enough to do some damage. We've already experienced about 1 to 4 inches of rainfall, depending on your location. So just a wind of 40 plus miles per hour can knock down the trees, can knock down power lines, because the soil is so saturated, it's not gripping a lot of that. So places including Hammond, St. John, Hobart, areas that just dealt with those tornadoes and those very strong storms, well, you're going to be getting impacted, not so much with the tornado threat at this point, but it's just going to be these strong winds. So unfortunately, we're still going to be adding some insult to injury. So places including Hammond around 909, St. John at 923, Gary at 932, Hobart at 950, Valparaiso at 1025, Michigan City looks closer to you at about 1038. So again, we have that severe thunderstorm warning that does continue for a little bit longer, and it looks like now it's just been trimmed down into northern portions of Lake County. So that is definitely some great news, and that goes until 9 o'clock. But we're going to be staying with you here, and the reason why is because we do have this confirmed and active tornado warning that is getting closer to Kankakee again in LaPorte County, but we're going to have to see if it does extend or not. Right now we're dealing with a lot of heavy rainfall, a lot of lightning strikes being associated with this too. That is just so impressive, David, especially at this time of night. It's 9 o'clock. Yeah. You know, just how much fuel the environment still has, even though yesterday and today we have experienced numerous rounds of rain showers and thunderstorms. Yeah, no, the atmosphere has really been able to recharge in an unbelievable way. This part of the country has weather that kind of defies meteorological logic sometimes, and it's not a good thing on nights like this. Sure makes our jobs interesting. In Hamlet, this is the possible location of a tornado ongoing, about to exit eastern LaPorte County. This is not quite out of our hair yet, but when it does, as Kylie was mentioning, this is going to be well, I don't want to speak too soon with this line still to come for lakeshore areas of northwest Indiana, but it should hopefully be our last confirmed tornado warning of the night. Chicago, Oak Lawn, still some light to even heavy rain down in the far south suburbs. You can see our mobile weather lab crews gathering some stories, some footage for us to share with you as soon as possible, and certainly on the 10 p.m. news tonight. But everybody here drying out in Geneva and Aurora. Chicago, still some rain, but no severe weather risk as the storms are now exiting and the atmosphere has worked over. You can see on the broader view, our partners down in Indianapolis, north central Indiana have tornado warnings, severe thunderstorm warnings. But as we discussed a lot earlier, the south winds feeding into this storm are getting all the moisture and energy is getting robbed from us in a good way now by these storms as they continue to take that inflow or steal the fuel for the storms behind it. Not only is our atmosphere totally worked over and tired from how active the storms have been today, but we've had our inflow cut off, which is a very good thing for our storm risk. Not only the concerning storm in LaPorte County there, which National Weather Service not saying, actually this is going to be in the northern Indiana chat room. They're not making promises one way or another yet on extending this warning. But I don't want folks to be caught off guard by this. If you're in Southwest Michigan, I know we have some folks who commute into Chicago every day. Maybe you get our signal out over the water, carries into Benton Harbor, Southwest Michigan, other places like that. This is a really nasty line of storms, which is prompting severe thunderstorm warnings in parts of Porter County, and it will prompt more, I think, for northern LaPorte County, like Michigan City, out toward New Buffalo. If we zoom in a little bit on this and lean you down a bit, you can see Long Beach, Michigan City, and New Buffalo are right in the path of this storm. And the velocity on this, I already showed this to you a few minutes ago, but I want to see how it's changed. Whoops. And it looks like that last tornado warning, though, has been dropped.
has been dropped?
Yes.
Wonderful. Velocity, 70+ mile per hour winds coming toward Michigan City and New Buffalo. Last tornado warning dropped on your maps?
On my maps, it
Okay,
has.
great. Well, that's a point for WSI. They dropped it before my Barron maps did. But yes, so Kylie telling us that this LaPorte County confirmed tornado warning has been allowed to expire, which is wonderful. So in the control room, please advise, we've got no active tornado warnings. We can either return to news gathering elements for our 10 p.m. broadcast, or if you guys have any reporters or other elements you want to bring in with the anchors, we can go ahead and do that now as we continue to monitor these storms heading toward the lakeshore in Indiana. So bottom line, we've had multiple tornado touchdowns, some of them strong or violent in our area today. We're going to take a quick break, send you back to programming. I promise we'll be back with the whole team at 10 with a wrap-up of what has been an incredible severe weather outbreak. So for meteorologist David Yeomans, from meteorologist Kylie Miller, and from the whole team here at CBS News Chicago, we hope you and yours are safe, and we'll see you back here at 10 o'clock. Thanks for joining us.
Well, this may explain why you're still alone.